for yesterday's shooting death in South St. Louis at a Starbucks drive-thru.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
Thoreau Field, no more. Mizzou wants to sell off the naming rights.
I think there's no doubt that they will tap into the St. Louis market and potentially the Kansas City market.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
And we'll give you the very latest in sports. When it comes to Mizzou basketball, they play tonight. SLU plays on Friday. Illinois shockingly lost that game last night. Brad Underwood was not too pleased about it. It's all coming up in moments.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Mostly sunny today, but cooler than yesterday, high 50.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin south of Tucson, where a man was taken into custody last night as a person of interest in Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping a week and a half ago.
Police haven't said who they detained, but this man who goes by the name Carlos says it was him. He was detained after a traffic stop.
They helped me against my will. They didn't even read me my rights until 2 hours later.
Carlos says investigators never questioned him. They searched his home in Rio Rico, an hour south of Guthrie's Tucson home. Carlos's mother-in-law says police told her they got a tip that Guthrie was at their house.
I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
His detention came hours after officials released images of a masked man, apparently armed with a gun, recorded on Guthrie's Nest camera outside her front door the morning she disappeared. Even though her subscription was inactive, the video footage was stored virtually in a cloud. Major travel disruptions on the way in El Paso, Texas, after an announcement from the FAA, heard today on Live ATC.
Just be advised, I guess there's a TFR going into effect. Just pass it on to the Southwest and everybody else. At 0630 for the next 10 days, we're stopped, all ground stopped.
Okay, ground stop to 0630 for how long?
10 days.
No flights in or out of El Paso for the next week and a half. The FAA says it's for special security reasons. Now to the Canadian Rockies, where a school shooting has rocked a remote community about 400 miles west of Edmonton. Police say a shooter killed 7 people and herself at a school in Tumbler Ridge. 2 people were found shot to death in a home nearby. They're being tied to the same suspect. Public Safety Minister Nina Krieger.
The people of Tumbler Ridge remain in a state of crisis following one of the worst mass shootings in our province's and country's history.
23 people are injured, 2 critically, the motive unclear. President Trump meets with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. CBS's Linda Kenyon with details from the White House.
The Prime Minister says first and foremost, he plans to focus on Iran. The meeting comes days after Iran and the U.S. held talks in Oman to discuss Iran's nuclear program, with more talks expected. At the same time, President Trump has ordered a U.S. military buildup in the region, while Iran continues its crackdown on anti-government protesters.
Lots of Seahawks fans will be calling out sick. Seattle is throwing a parade for its Super Bowl champs today. Lauren Ozick will be there.
I told my manager, though, way before we even went to the Super Bowl, I said, if we win, I'm not coming in on whatever day the parade follows.
Dow futures are up 51. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got mostly clear skies and 31 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman.
Do not approach him. He is incredibly dangerous. He is armed, and you need to call 911 immediately.
That's what St. Louis City Police spokesman Mitch McCoy said Tuesday after releasing surveillance camera images of the suspect in a fatal drive-through shooting. It happened around 10 in the morning at Starbucks on South Grand. Then overnight, police announced the arrest of a 58-year-old male suspect after a search warrant was served at his home. Officers also found evidence that may link the man to a pair of robbery cases. We're still awaiting the release of the name of the 28-year-old woman killed in Tuesday's shooting, as well as the suspect's name.
200 years in federal prison for a Jefferson County man who admitted sexually abusing 2 children and sharing images of child pornography. The FBI in St. Louis says 31-year-old Jason Mayrand previously served a state prison sentence for sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl in Bates County. A detective in North Carolina noticed the illegal images posted by Mayrand on the Kick app and worked with investigators in Missouri to get that 200-year prison sentence.
A 26-year-old man from DeSoto is facing 17 and a half years in federal prison for distributing child sexual abuse material, FBI Special Agent Chris Crocker.
Dylan James preyed on vulnerable children, using gifts to manipulate and sexually exploit them. That's a tactic all too common among predators. In these cases, there is no ambiguity. The children are the victims, and we will hold accountable those who are responsible.
James admitted to recording a sexual act with a 13-year-old girl along with sexually abusing 2 other teens. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department and St. Louis County Police investigated the case.
One person died in a fire Tuesday night, a fire that erupted inside the abandoned former Greyhound bus terminal on North 13th. St. Louis firefighters say they saw flames shooting out of the rear of the building when they arrived. The Regional Bomb and Arson Squad is investigating, which is typical when a fire-related death occurs.
Today, $1 million donation presented to Backstoppers. Guns and Hoses, the November boxing match fundraiser, brought it.
The funding that Guns and Hoses provides us 1/3 of our budget. It lets us do the work that we do. And it's really, Guns and Hoses, it's the power behind Backstoppers.
That is Lawrence O'Toole, who is the current executive director of Backstoppers. They financially support first responders' families who are affected by death or catastrophic injury.
If a data center is approved in Troy, Illinois, it won't be on the preferred site of the developer. Troy officials say the 169-acre site on Formosa Road off the interstate is off the table, with Mayor David Nahn saying that is the face of Troy and they want something better for the community. The site is right off Troy's exit on I-5570, and Nahn says that land should have softer development.
Cloverleaf Infrastructure, based in Houston and Seattle, does not have an alternate site, and according to the Business Journal, has asked Troy officials to reconsider. City council members were apparently quite swayed at a meeting last week when the pastor of Bethel Baptist Church explained the proposed data center would surround his church on 3 sides.
Could Mizzou cash in while still keeping Faurot Field alive?
The news that Mizzou plans to remove the word memorial from its stadium name is sparking concerns about the loss of tradition. But even if a corporate brand pays to take over the stadium's exterior, the name that most people use, Faurot Field, might not go anywhere. Patrick Risch, who runs the sports business program at Washington University, says it's common for universities to sell the stadium rights.
I think there's no doubt that they will tap into the St. Louis market and potentially the Kansas City market,
while keeping the field still dedicated to a legendary figure.
I think that that's a possibility. We see that all the time where you have some tie to a figure from the university. You don't want to lose it completely. So having the stadium have a corporate name, but have the field remain Pro Field, I think that's absolutely on the table.
There is precedent for this. The University of Washington calls it Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium, and the Kansas City Chiefs call it GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. This kind of hybrid approach would allow Mizzou to preserve the past while still cashing in on a multi-million-dollar naming deal, which it says it needs to pay for stadium renovations and to be competitive in the SEC. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
We'll check traffic and weather next. It's 6:08.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10, time for us to check traffic and weather. We start with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, out west, we still have our bumper-to-bumper backup on eastbound Highway 70, just sort of creeping along through Wright City, the city limits there. And then once you get past Wright City, it opens up fairly quickly. Now, earlier we had slow going more than midway into Forest L, but it's not quite that way now. The traffic is moving very slowly, though, through Wright City. We did have a report of a stall in the area earlier, which may be why it's still jammed. I can just see traffic moving through at a snail's pace, and I can't see what the issue is aside from that, because east of there, like I said, things are opening up, so it looks like they got the road work picked up. Had a minor crash reported northbound 141 at 44. Just a little busy through the area there. It doesn't look like anything more than normally heavy traffic to me. We look good down south. 55 at Festus and north of Bayless in the construction zones. 270 north of 64, both ways still good to go. And no roadwork delays yet on 64 through Fairview Heights. You know, they have east and westbound roadwork going on there that they started on Monday. That's a longer term deal. And there's still one more day left of the roadwork on eastbound 5570 at Exchange. So that means it'll be another rough afternoon going across the Poplar Street Bridge. The roadwork's scheduled to be wrapped up by tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. if they get done on time, and certainly the weather is permitting them to, so we'll see if that ends up being the case. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg, what do you have in store for us on this Wednesday?
Today will be cooler than yesterday despite a good deal of sunshine. The high not far from 50. Mainly clear this evening, but clouds will increase later tonight, though 33. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, high 54. Back to some sunshine Friday, high 57. There'll be some rain later Saturday and Saturday night. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have a clear sky. It's 32 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is going on 6/12. $4 million in grant funding is heading to local tourism bureaus from the state of Illinois to support Route 66 centennial events and attractions this year. Governor Pritzker announcing one giant future addition in the Metro East.
With their help, we are putting that investment to good use, including right here in Granite City with a 14-foot tall statue of Illinois' own Abraham Lincoln.
The Alton-based Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau is getting more than $1.6 million of the Route 66 grant funding from the state.
It's now 6:12. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. We're going to get you the latest weather forecast here shortly. Taxpayers could be on the hook for cleanup of old abandoned oil and gas wells across the state of Illinois. Pete Hancock, State House reporter at Capital News Illinois, has been covering the story.
Big holes in the ground go, hundreds, sometimes maybe even thousands of feet below the surface down into these oil deposits. So, they pose a significant hazard, and they do need to be plugged and capped.
Hancock says a new study shows state regulators don't have a good grasp on where all of them are and whether they are still in operation. Researchers with Northwestern University and Client Earth USA point out companies operating wells may no longer be in existence. That could make it hard to force them to pay for environmental cleanup.
New legislation regarding domestic violence will be named after a Festus woman who was killed by her boyfriend. 22-year-old Haley Jennings was shot and killed in November 2025. Her boyfriend then turned the gun on himself.
The bill being introduced tomorrow could make it so a person could petition the court for a temporary order of protection to remove firearms from the home of someone who is experiencing extreme mental health decline. Haley's Law will be the first of a broader legislative effort to combat domestic violence.
A new data center near the Armory is getting big-time support from Alderman Thomas Oldenburg. The proposed site is at the vacant Macy's Famous Bar warehouse. Oldenburg says it represents $3 billion in local investment and 1,000 construction jobs.
You talk, a few thousand construction jobs over a 3 or 4 year period. They're all buying groceries. They're all spending discretionary income. So the local economy gets a shot at that. So sales tax revenues collected just from workers having more income because of a pretty large scale job.
Oldenburg recognizes there are concerns about water and electricity.
Right. Let's mandate water efficiency. That's a potential safeguard for sure. Let's assume that the electricity consumption safeguards are in place too.
Missouri is taking Dollar General to court, alleging deceptive and unfair pricing. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway says her office has completed more than 5,000 undercover buys at 179 stores.
We're going after Dollar General stores. The prices that they have marked on the shelves is not the same price that people are paying at the register.
The case is set to go to trial in July unless a settlement is reached at 6:15. Here's Brad Underwood, Illini coach, after blowing a 12-point lead and losing in overtime to Wisconsin, 92-90 last night in Champaign.
Really proud of our guys. Tough one to lose. Little off script for us. 13 turnovers. I think that's the most we've had in league play. And then just a very poor night on the offensive glass. But, very seldom do you shoot 54%, 46 from three and lose. But the turnovers, and again, off script, we threw an inbounds play lob to somebody that we haven't done all year. We never do that. Just kind of got out of sorts and out of character with a few things. Then, the reality is we had guys playing different positions defensively, chasing guys off screens. Couldn't be prouder of Ben and Jake and Merck for having to chase guys around and stuff that they don't normally do. But we were down a starting backcourt, and that's life in the Big Ten.
No Boswell, no Stojakovic, and Illinois loses. They blow a big lead, though, and drop this one 92-90 in overtime to Wisconsin. 8th-ranked Illinois falls. They lost back-to-back games. They lost an overtime game on Saturday at Michigan State. Elsewhere, top 25 college basketball, there were some upsets yesterday. 5th-ranked Iowa State lost at TCU, 62-55. 11th-ranked North Carolina fell at Miami, 75-66 in that one. Missouri plays tonight. They are at Texas A&M. That one will tip off at 8 o'clock tonight. And then Friday, it's SLU continuing its magical run. They'll take it to Chicago and take on Loyola. That one tips off at 7:30. St. Louis is ranked 18th in the country. That same night, Miami of Ohio, number 23 in the country, will try to keep its undefeated season alive at home against Ohio. The Redhawks are 24-0. They're the only team remaining in college basketball with an unbeaten mark. We'll check in with Matt Pauley and the St. Louis Cardinals on the way at 6:45. They made a deal yesterday. George Soriano coming over from the Washington Nationals for Andre Granillo in a swap of right-handers. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, Happy New Year, big boy. Hey, what's up, Izzy? Also known as the Kool-Aid Man. You got any New Year's resolutions?
I got one, Eddie. I've promised myself to spend more time on that toasty, warm, huge, heated outdoor patio of yours. It's nothing like having your coat off, drinking the coldest beer in town with hundreds of your family, friends.
Man, it is a toasted patio, and that's a great resolution. And, thanks for not mentioning things like weight loss and health kick. And those would be hard in Fast Eddie's. It'd be hard to lose any kind of weight or take away from anything when you got the 5-pound Fat Eddie burger, the hot chick on a stick, that big Elwood on a stick, and those succulent peel-and-eat shrimp.
Yeah, I am not losing any weight hanging around your place. I learned it's a lot easier just to make those resolutions simple and fun, buddy.
Man, and that's easy. You're right. That's a great resolution. So make your resolution fun. And head on over to Fast Eddie's Bon Air. You know where to go across that big, beautiful Clark Bridge and come into Alton, Illinois. So like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 and in the mood, we'll see you at Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Kool-Aid Man.
St. Louis Public Library, where there is always something going on. And of course, February is Black History Month, a century of Black history commemorations at St. Louis Public Library. If you just go to slpl.org, You can just click to see all of the events that are going on at Central Library and all of the neighborhood branches. They've got Monday matinees. They've got African American art exploration. They've got the Black History Month book club. I mean, it goes on and on. There's all kinds of activities and things that you can get involved with. Aside from that, you can do so much from the comfort of your own home. They really beefed up their digital library during the pandemic, so you don't even have to leave your house. You can download so many things, and it saves you money, that library card, because you don't have to have expensive subscriptions to get audiobooks or ebooks or do your genealogy. You can do all of that for free. Get newspapers without subscriptions, magazines, you name it. They have got it at St. Louis Public Library, plus the creative experience. It's your own maker space where they have things like 3D printers and sewing machines, embroidery. You can record your podcast. So check it out, because St. Louis Public Library is St. Louis's original search engine, slpl.org.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
620, Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, I've been keeping an eye on eastbound 70, Tom, and it's doing better now. It's really picked up the pace through Wright City, so it looks like we've pretty well thinned out there, so that's good news. The roadwork's picked up, and if we had a minor incident there, they obviously cleared it because things are looking pretty good. Start to see some volume on southbound 61, bogged down right around Highway P, about midway down to Wentzville Parkway. Just a slowdown, but after that, it opens up and it runs well. Once you hit eastbound 70 or 64 from that point in Wentzville, you're good to go across the Missouri River Bridges. Looking at some slow traffic on 55, I see a little slowdown down at McNutt. The right lanes north of Butler Hill, right around Mattis to 270, and all lanes Bales up to River to Pear are busy. On the Illinois side, still looks okay on 64 through the O'Fallon Fairview Heights area in the construction zone, and no delays westbound downtown across the bridges as of yet. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou, with your home sold guaranteed realty, 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou, with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Mostly sunny today, but cooler than yesterday. So hopefully you got out and enjoyed that almost 70-degree weather. Today's high around 50, so not bad. It's February. Then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high of 54. By Friday, sunshine, some clouds, 57. And then back down to 51 for Saturday. But all in all, not bad. It's 31 degrees out there right now.
It's 622. Mercy St. Louis has just become the only hospital in Missouri to offer a new hybrid alternative to heart bypass surgery. KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer found out more about it when he talked with Mercy cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Parth Patel.
New to the region for sure, but basically it allows us to completely revascularize a patient's bypass or blockages of the heart without opening their chest. And so the first step typically is we use robotic assistance to harvest the left internal mammary artery and then sew it to the left anterior descending coronary artery. Now that's the most important bypass, whether it's open bypass surgery or robotic bypass surgery. That's the best anastomosis. That's the best vessel. Once that's done, the cardiologist can go in and stent the other lesions. And now the patient can go home in about 3 or 4 days without significant bed rest and be back to normal living life, if you will, in about 2 weeks, completely, maybe not cured of their heart disease, but certainly significantly better and to the point where they don't have to worry about it.
And how rare is this?
Well, we just started doing it here at Mercy St. Louis, and they've done it a handful of times across the state, but no active other programs remain in the state as far as I know. And so it's done pretty frequently at other places, more high volume places, but it's something that I'm hoping to gear up and do more and more here. But heart disease is the most common cause of death in the American population, and this is a way to treat it.
Who is eligible to get this procedure?
That's a good question. First and foremost, you need to talk to your cardiologist. They're going to be the ones that kind of make that determination. However, it's patients that have coronary artery disease and specifically a blockage in the left anterior descending coronary artery. Any patient that has that can at least potentially be eligible. Now, there's more minutia and more details that we need to look at. We need to look at the imaging and the workup and so on. But at the beginning, that's the all-encompassing population from which we can kind of figure out who will really be a candidate and who will not.
What's been the reaction from patients that you've performed this surgery on?
Most of them, because we've been pretty selective with it, have felt instantaneously better. The first patient could tell that his shortness of breath went away immediately. He went home without any sort of narcotic pain medication, was back to living his normal life after about 5 days stay in the hospital. And the second patient needed a true hybrid revascularization, which is to say he got my surgical part and then stents the following day. He went home after about 5 days and again was back to normal activity, normal working in about 2 weeks. And he feels a million times better. I just followed up with him.
Dr. Patel, go over again the benefits of this procedure for patients.
Yeah, absolutely. So this procedure allows us to do the most important bypass, which is the artery from the front of the chest wall to the front of the heart, without ever having to break the sternum and open the chest up fully. We use 3 small incisions down the left side of the chest to harvest the internal mammary artery using the robot as an assistant. And then we make a small incision, 5-centimeter incision, to the left of the breastbone without breaking ribs, without spreading ribs, to perform the anastomosis. Patients can go home in about 3 or 4 days. It has a decreased transfusion risk, a decreased stroke risk, and of course, much less pain. And then, like I said, patients can go home in about 3 or 4 days and then be back to normal activities in about 2 weeks.
How exciting is this for you, a cardiothoracic surgeon?
I think this is something that I trained in, and I thank all my mentors for teaching me how to do this and giving me the support and guidance. And it's something I'm just excited to offer the community here.
Dr. Parth Patel, a cardiothoracic surgeon at Mercy St. Louis.
A Missouri Senate bill would create a purple alert system similar to an Amber Alert that would be activated whenever someone with developmental disabilities goes missing. The sponsor, Republican Senator Jamie Berger of Scott County, says it would also set up a structure to help law enforcement officers properly respond to a situation involving someone with that developmental disability.
For people with disabilities, sometimes they're not recognized. And basically, they would carry a purple envelope with them. They would get stopped. They could give that purple envelope to the officer that stops them to make them aware of their possible disabilities or what their life is like, so they are aware of that.
MissouriNet reports the bill has been assigned to the State Senate Transportation Committee, though a hearing hasn't been scheduled yet.
It's 6:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Two St. Louis icons, one legendary tribute. Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC at Powell Hall on Sunday, February 15th for Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner. Presented by Purina, with performances by special guests including conductor Anthony Parthener, Grammy Award-winning artist Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes, and our city's own Kennedy Homes. This is your chance to experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER. This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that.
Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about. I am amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
It is 6:30. This is Total Information AM, and we've got mostly clear skies downtown. It's 31 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are getting a little busier out there. In fact, they just cleared an incident to the shoulder, North 270 at 64. So northbound 270 is a little slow as you ramp on from 55. And then it's backed up at Manchester up to Clayton Road. Then it's just slow up to 64 for the time being. Seeing that volume on southbound 61 still about midway from W down to Highway P, and then Wentzville Parkway onto 64 at Prospects, a little busy. Eastbound 70, a little slow down east of Forestell, but after that, you're good to go. If you're on northbound Highway 55, you got a little slowdown right just north of Highway A, a little slowdown north of Highway Z briefly. The right lanes at Butler Hill, all lanes are pretty solid backup. Bayless up to Weber. Once you get across River to Perry, you're doing better. Westbound 64 is starting to see slow traffic now just west of 50 through 159 and a little busy at the 70 split, but across the bridges, everything's still on the go. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says we're going to have a nice day today, but a little cooler than yesterday. Sunny, high 50. Tonight, mainly clear early, increasing clouds late, low 33. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high 54. Friday, sunshine and some clouds, and a high of 57 degrees. Currently, clear sky, 32 downtown at the Arch.
It took less than 24 hours for St. Louis City Police to make an arrest in Tuesday morning shooting death in a Starbucks drive-through lane on South Grand. We don't yet know the name of the suspect, but police overnight say they have detained a 58-year-old man for the shooting death of a 28-year-old woman. They haven't said yet if this was a random crime or if the two knew each other. We'll get you more details as they become available.
If you want to do something, let's strengthen our immigration laws.
Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt saying Republicans are not interested in entertaining the, quote, ridiculous ideas of the Democrats, unquote, when it comes to immigration.
Look, if they want to shut down TSA, if they want to shut down FEMA, that's fine.
Schmidt says his Protect American Act will end sanctuary cities, increase penalties for illegal entry and re-entry. His act would also increase penalties for assaulting ICE officers and get rid of NGOs, non-governmental organizations that Schmidt claims are the ones causing all the violence on the streets.
A new report reveals anti-Semitism is having a significant impact on how American Jews go about their daily lives.
More than half of Jews in America changed their behavior out of fear of being the target of anti-Semitism.
American Jewish Committee St. Louis Director Nancy Lisker.
Something that never happened before. They are going into places, looking immediately for the exit.
The AJC survey also found that American Jews are changing what they wear, what events they attend, and what views they share online.
This is not the way any American, let alone any minority, should be living their daily lives.
Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We'll check your money minute next.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it.
So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
It is now 6:34. You are listening to Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey along with Tom Ackerman, and time for your Money Minute, which is sponsored by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. It's Jobs Day on Wall Street. The January report was originally scheduled for last Friday, but was delayed by the partial government shutdown. According to a Bloomberg survey of economists, payrolls probably rose by 69,000. The unemployment rate is expected to hold steady at 4.4%. Ahead of that, stocks have been flipping between slight gains and losses. S&P futures are little changed. Dow futures are up 55 points. In other news, job cuts at Heineken. The brewer is laying off as many as 6,000 workers as it deals with a slump in demand for alcohol. There has been a pullback in beer consumption in some big markets around the world, including the U.S. and Europe. Heineken employs about 87,000 people worldwide. And shares of Lyft sinking this morning in early trading after issuing a disappointing financial forecast that missed Wall Street expectations. The rideshare company's global expansion is not performing as quickly and as well as anticipated. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
There's a lot to think about: portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Barnes Jewish Hospital and WashU Medicine physicians have long been leaders in heart and vascular care. Now, we're taking the patient experience to another level by opening our new state-of-the-art patient tower, designed specifically with heart patients in mind. By combining the latest technology with thoughtful design and private rooms, heart patients can experience faster healing, reduce stress, and improved outcomes. Learn more at barnesjewish.org/heart.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Listen for Matt's Reports Daily. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting and Happy Roof on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Not so timely help. I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. If you use the Apple Watch hypertension notifications feature approved by the FDA to monitor your high blood pressure, there's something you need to know. A new study finds nearly 60% of people with undiagnosed hypertension didn't get an alert. Study author Dr. Georgiana Cohen at the University of Pennsylvania.
It's pretty common that people will be telling me that their new fancy device, which was marketed to them as being really, really great and accurate, gave them readings that said something that actually doesn't match what they're getting with a really high quality cuff device. From our point of view as clinicians, we really worry that people may not get alerts and then think that they're in the clear and don't need to get screened, when in fact, the lack of alert is actually almost meaningless. If you end up walking around without diagnosed hypertension, not knowing that you actually have hypertension, even though you have it, you have a very substantially increased risk of a stroke, a heart attack, developing or worsening kidney disease, and dementia.
The researchers say the Apple Watch feature is a promising public health tool, but it should supplement, not replace, standard blood pressure screening. With 60 seconds to better health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
Roger Brand, what are you seeing out there? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, for the most part, just slow traffic right now, Tom. This traffic reports a service to the Sandberg Phoenix law firm, like southbound 61 starting to bog down about midway between W and Highway P, all the way down onto 64. Past Prospect opens up before you get to the boulevard. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, a little slow east of K into TR Hughes. Northbound 270, that's busy. From Tesson Ferry through Gravois, like midway up to 44. And then again from Big Bend, there's pockets all the way up through Ladue, and it's more slow than it is stop through there, but it's just busy most of that stretch. Northbound 55 still have a little slowdown north of Highway Z briefly. The right lane's barely slow north of Butler Hill. All lanes bogged down from the Union Road overpass up to about Virginia. And then on the Illinois side, you've got heavy traffic westbound 64 west of 50 through 159 in that work zone. Westbound 64 after that's just slow right through to the Poplar, and they are out there working on eastbound 5570 at Exchange. Two left lanes closed. Not causing a delay now, but I know we'll get that back up this afternoon again. And also seeing a backup westbound midspan on the McKinley Bridge. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
It's 6:41, and it's time for us to get you a check of the forecast. And our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg, is joining us. I guess, the bad news is today's not going to be as nice as yesterday, but yesterday was really beautiful.
It was gorgeous yesterday, Debbie. Normal high would be 44. We got the 66 officially yesterday with sunshine as that front came through. Now, behind the front, it's cooler, but 50 degrees is still above the norm, and that's a nice trend to be in. Lots of sunshine today. Now, it starts out clear tonight before some clouds move in later tonight, our low 33. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy day, but I'd still call it mild, the high 54, and that's the theme of our forecast going forward all the way in the next week. Sunshine returns for Friday. We get the 57. Storm goes by to our south this weekend, and with it, we're going to see some rain later Saturday and Saturday night, maybe into early Sunday. Saturday's temperature is much closer to 50. Clouds will try to break late Sunday, mid to upper 50s. I think we're in the 60s on Monday with sunshine. Right now, it's 29 degrees at St. Peter's, 31 in Florissant, clear 34 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 6:42, sports in 3 minutes. A flash hope in Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping faded quickly. A man detained in a traffic stop about 60 miles south of Tucson has been released. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has his story.
Overnight, the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department said they had conducted a search at a house in Rio Rico, Arizona, a community near the border that's about an hour south of Tucson, and that a person had been detained in connection to the case during a traffic stop.
I don't know anything.
This man says he was held and later released.
They just told me, stop moving. Like, what's your name? Carlos. And that's it. They put me in the cop car.
He also told reporters he works as a delivery driver and that he didn't know who Nancy or Savannah Guthrie are.
I don't follow the news. I hope they get the suspect because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
Google Meta pushed back on addiction claims in a landmark social media trial. Jurors in this case that seeks to hold companies responsible for harms to children got their first glimpse into what will be a lengthy trial characterized by dueling narratives from the plaintiffs and the two remaining defendants, Meta and YouTube.
At the core of the Los Angeles case is a 20-year-old identified only by the initials KGM whose case could determine how thousands of other similar lawsuits against social media companies will play out. She and 2 other plaintiffs have been selected for bellwether trials, essentially test cases for both sides to see how their arguments play out before a jury.
3 leading social media companies have agreed to be rated on how safe they are for teens. TikTok, Snapchat, and Meta agreeing to be graded by a coalition of advocacy groups and labeled with safety ratings.
The platforms will be graded on whether they give teens options to turn off endless scrolling or force them to take breaks.
That's CBS's Michael Wallace. Companies that get high safety ratings will get a badge, while those that perform well or don't perform well will be labeled as unable to block harmful content.
A new federal law passed in 2025 requires most low-income adults ages 19 through 64 on Medicaid to start meeting work or community engagement requirements like working, volunteering, or going to school to keep their health coverage starting by January 2027. Sam Whitehead is a correspondent with KFF Health News and has more on what the new requirements mean.
The new rules will likely have a really big impact on a different cohort of people. We're talking about people ages 50 to 64, people who are too young to qualify for Medicare at age 65, but often out of the workforce or caregiving or having real trouble finding work hours.
Well, finally, it's here. The hockey tournament starts at the Winter Olympics this morning at 9:40 a.m. Central Time. The men's hockey tournament at Milano Cortina. It'll be Team Slovakia against Team Finland. Can't wait for the U.S. to start playing because the Tkachuk boys will be wreaking havoc out there. Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk, the St. Louis natives, trying to get the United States a gold medal. Meantime, we are concentrating on college basketball around here. St. Louis University is the talk of the town. The Billikens are the 18th ranked team in America. They play at Loyola on Friday night, so they have until Friday to get their legs back and get themselves going. It's been a nice little break for them, actually. They had back-to-back off days, and now they're back to practice. 7:30 tip-off on KMOX on Friday night with 7:15 pregame. Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr. will come at you from Chicago. Tonight, Mizzou plays at Texas A&M. They tip off at 8 o'clock. Tigers trying to get themselves into contention here for the NCAA tournament. Illinois is going to have no problem with that, but they have been knocked down twice now in overtime. They lost at Michigan State on Saturday. No harm there. But yesterday, they were up by 12 and blew the lead. They fell in overtime 92-90 at home to Wisconsin. Nick Boyd for the Badgers finished with 25 points. Freshman Keaton Wagler, 34 points in the loss. But missing Boswell, missing Stojakovic certainly has taken its toll on Illinois. It's basically their starting backcourt that was out yesterday for that loss to Wisconsin. It still doesn't excuse blowing a 12-point lead in the second half and losing to an unranked Wisconsin team at home. Elsewhere in college basketball, there were other upsets in the top 25 yesterday, as it happens this time of year. You had number 5 Iowa State going into TCU, and they lose 62-55 to unranked TCU. You had Purdue. I don't know how much of an upset this is, but they did win at number 7 Nebraska in overtime, 80-77. The Boilermakers are ranked 13th in the country. North Carolina up to 11 after beating Duke. They lose at unranked Miami, 75-66. The Hurricanes get them led wire to wire in that one. Now, the other Miami team, Miami of Ohio, is the only undefeated team in college basketball. They're 24-0. They play on Friday night at home against Ohio. Coming up at 7:15, Matt Pauley with his spring training report from Jupiter, Florida. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first at Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be the first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella replacement windows specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or check them out on the web at bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, and you can pick that up at Supplement Superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boost the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings, and man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
St. Louis, get ready. One of the most powerful voices in country music is coming to the Dome at America's Center on March 7th. Zach Bryan, live in concert.
It'll be fun about those clubs, I'm telling you, baby.
With the songs you know by heart.
You can see now.
One night, one stage, an unforgettable night of raw, honest music. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Now the news at 1 The Fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
6:50 in time for us to check in with Roger Brand once again. He has a look at your ride-in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's busy on northbound 270 already this morning, Debbie. We're just sort of bogged down from just north of 55 up to 44, and then just north of 44, it's slow again. So you get closer to Manchester. Approaching Manchester, though, it does jam most of the way up to 64 currently. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, again, from 64 all the way in through TR Hughes, there's some pockets of slow traffic, a little busy between 94 and 5th Street after that. Southbound 61, approaching Highway P down onto 64, Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Again, that's all slow, and there's a little slowdown through the inner belt after that. Northbound 55 drivers looking at delays from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear, pretty solid through there. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64 west of 50 through 159 is heavy, and then there's slow traffic after that west of 3rd Street across the Poplar Street Bridge. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up. From now on, if you sprang a leak, need a water heater, or have hard water,
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Jerry Kelly will fix the leak, install the thing, and make that hard water easy. From the company who's got your whole home covered.
JerryKelly.com.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says we're going to have a mostly sunny, cooler day today with a high of 50 degrees. Clear early tonight, then increasing clouds late, low 33. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and a high of 54. It's 32 degrees right now.
For 40 years, it was where the voice of St. Louis broadcasted to the rest of the country. Now, the Gateway Tower is legally insolvent.
The 21-story high-rise at 1 Memorial Drive, best known as the longtime home of KMOX Radio, is now in receivership after its owners defaulted on a $14 million loan. KMOX moved out in 2012, and the building's financial health has deteriorated in the years since, made worse by the recent departure of KMOV-TV from Maryland Heights. Court documents reveal a staggering drop in value for the property. In 2019, the tower was nearly 90% filled and appraised at about $20 million. Today, the occupancy has crashed to 53%, and the building's value is now just $6.4 million. The Business Journal reports that a court has appointed Cushman & Wakefield now to manage the property. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is suing 5 convenience stores in the Boot Heel, accusing them of hosting illegal gambling operations. The lawsuits target shops for allegedly violating the Merchandising Practices Act. Hanaway says the stores provided access to unregulated video lottery terminals and fishing table games. The Dunklin County prosecuting attorney is also filing felony criminal charges against the operation.
The St. Louis region's economic health impacts the entire state, regardless of where city boundaries begin and end. A Republican and Democrat agreeing on that on yesterday's Dave Glover show on KMOX. St. Charles County Director of Elections Kurt Barr says the state's economy depends on this metropolitan area acting as one.
Missouri has 2 economic centers, St. Louis and Kansas City. St. Louis is by far the bigger region, and it's not just
the city. It is St. Charles County. It is Jeffco. It is Franklin County. As goes this region, so goes a good chunk of our state economics.
And City Alderman Rasheen Aldridge says our regional success has to start with changing our own narrative. He argues that residents in both the city and the suburbs need to stop the infighting and start promoting the area's strengths.
Being in Jeff City, I've seen a lot of out folks from St. Louis, if it's St. Charles or, on the other aisle, people in St. Louis County, just talking bad about St. Louis. And I only want to go down there for the Cardinals and Blues game, and I'm scared, but I stay downtown. I feel fine walking down the street. I feel fine walking around the corner. And I think for us that live in St. Louis, yes, we have to work with our regional partners in St. Louis County and in St. Charles, but also believe that we have to be our biggest cheerleaders, because if we're not, who's going to talk good about us?
You can hear the entire conversation on the Dave Glover Show podcast on the Odyssey app.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
Kennett, Missouri native Sheryl Crow, Grammy Award winner. She is 64 today. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to Jennifer Aniston. The actress turns 57 today.
The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Mary Ellen Susie of Kirkwood from yesterday's kids, Tony Tycoon Knittig. Happy birthday from your family. And happy birthday wishes going to our friend down the hall, Sue Thomas.
This is the best birthday ever.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, as you travel in out of South County this morning, you've got the usual slow traffic northbound 55 from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. After that, doesn't look as bad. Northbound 270 as you ramp on from 55 is slow most of the way up to 44. You get a little bit of a breather up to closer to Big Bend, and then it's backed up Big Bend to Manchester, and from there, slow all the way up through 64 as you enter that work zone with that new lane shift that they did over the weekend, last weekend. Eastbound Highway 70 is just kind of bogged down from 64 all the way to TR Hughes. After that, you're looking good. Southbound 61, still pretty busy from just north of Highway P down to 64, a little bit of a backup east of Prospect, but it's opening up more than midway into Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and then you're back on track. At the Interbelt, it looks okay both directions. Just the ramp south 170 to eastbound 64 is a little slow that left lane at the U Club Tower. And then on the Illinois side, you've got the road work going on westbound 64, so west of 50 through 159, it's busy. Westbound 64, Baugh Avenue to the 70 split is slow, and then it's slow again. Route 3 onto the Poplar, and they're working in the left lanes eastbound 5570 east of 64, but right now no delays. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
An arrest made overnight for yesterday's South St. Louis Starbucks shooting that left a 28-year-old woman dead.
That's Tom Ackerman. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
Mizzou wants to sell naming rights to Faurot Field. Who might buy?
Places such as Steeple, you have places such as Edward Jones.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Plenty of sunshine today, but not as warm as yesterday. The high just 50.
Spring training is underway. Matt Pauley has a report from Jupiter, Florida on a trade that the Cardinals made yesterday in a swap of pitchers. We'll also take a look at college basketball. Illinois was up 12 last night in the second half at home against Wisconsin and let it get away. The Badgers win in overtime. We'll get an explanation from Brad Underwood on that one. It's 7 o'clock.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A person of interest was released this morning in Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping. But first, to Texas, where the FAA has just stopped all flights into and out of El Paso for the next 10 days. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
This is highly unusual. The FAA moving in the middle of the night, putting basically a 10-mile radius no-fly zone around the El Paso airport for, quote, special security reasons. The FAA is not specifying what those reasons are, but they are essentially taking the El Paso airport and grounding every aircraft that would operate out of there.
It's expected to cause major disruptions. Now to the latest in Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has the update from Tucson.
Late Tuesday night, a person the sheriff called a subject was detained for questioning south of Tucson during a traffic stop. Hours later, a man in front of cameras at his home said he was that subject and had just been released. CBS's Andres Gutierrez was there when the man, who only identified himself as Carlos, spoke to reporters.
What kind of questions were they asking you? Nothing. They didn't ask me no questions.
His detention came hours after the FBI released images of a masked man believed to be carrying a gun at Guthrie's door on the night she vanished. Attorney General Pam Bondi is expected to face tough questions from Congress today about the Jeffrey Epstein case. CBS's Nicole Killian.
Democrats plan to press Bondi on many important questions. According to a source, some of the Epstein survivors plan to be in attendance and penned a letter to the AG demanding greater transparency.
Today will be day 3 of a teacher strike at public schools in San Francisco. Protesters are asking parents not to homeschool their kids. They say homework packets offering 5 days worth of English and math are a ploy to make sure the district continues to receive government funding during the walkout. Teachers are demanding 9% pay raises over 2 years and subsidized family health care. For the first time, researchers have snapped a GPS collar on a critically endangered fox.
Scientists suspect fewer than 50 Sierra Nevada red foxes exist. They were thought to be wiped out in the 1920s. Their unusually thick winter coats were popular with trappers. Their existence was only confirmed in 2010 when one of them was caught on a motion camera north of Yosemite National Park. Biologists finally trapped one last month and fitted it with a GPS collar. They hope by tracking the fox's seasonal movements and daily life, they can better understand how to save the species. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Dow futures are up 57. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS Mornings on the go on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It is 7:04, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we've got sunshine and 30 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Breaking this morning, St. Louis City Police announced an arrest in Tuesday's shooting death in a Southside Starbucks drive-thru. Spokesman Mitch McCoy says a 58-year-old man was arrested overnight after a search warrant was executed at his home. Here's how McCoy described the man Tuesday based on surveillance camera video.
We know it's an African-American man wearing a lime green vest and a hard helmet.
McCoy says the suspect was armed when he was arrested. Police also found evidence in his home from 2 previous robbery cases. Charges are pending.
One person died in a fire Tuesday night that erupted inside the abandoned former Greyhound bus terminal on North 13th. St. Louis firefighters say they saw flames shooting out of the back of the building when they arrived. The Regional Bomb and Arson Squad is investigating, which is typical when a fire-related death occurs.
The University of Missouri is seeking a naming rights sponsor. It could fetch millions.
Mizzou Athletics is officially on the hunt for a corporate partner to put its name on the historic football stadium. It's technically called Memorial Stadium, but most people say Faurot Field, while MU says the move is necessary to fund the $250 million Centennial renovation project. The price of admission for a corporation won't be cheap. WashU sports business expert Patrick Risch says the Tigers are looking at a significant annual payday.
I have a feeling they're going to be more regionally oriented. And I would say that the price point on a lot of these deals, you're probably looking at somewhere in the $5 to $10 million range for a school like Mizzou.
Risch expects the university to lean into the St. Louis and Kansas City markets, trying to tap into Fortune 1000 sized companies. He says financial services and healthcare are 2 popular sectors. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Illinois Governor Pritzker paying a visit to Granite City this week to kick off the state's Route 66 centennial celebration.
Some just drive for the weekend here, frequenting local small businesses and tourist destinations. That tourism has driven significant growth and prosperity. Others have driven up Route 66 in search of a new home.
The state of Illinois is spending $4 million in grant funding to create and promote events and attractions for the big Route 66 anniversary.
The St. Louis Zoo is in the running for the best zoo in the country. The zoo was nominated for 3 of USA Today's 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards: Best Zoo, Best Membership, Best Exhibit. And a panel of experts picked the nominees. A public vote will determine the winners. Voting ends on March 9th. While we're talking about winners, thanks to Barrett Media for selecting this show, Total Information AM, as the number 7 mid-market news talk radio morning show in America.
All right.
How about that? In their top 20.
We're number 7.
Who's above us, for goodness sakes?
From the KMOX business desk. Despite a cool down in retail spending, the labor market remains a source of strength for the economy. The latest employment cost index shows that workers' compensation is continuing to climb, even as inflation shows signs of stabilizing. Stifel's Eric Roberts says the current trend is a positive sign for workers' purchasing power.
Total compensation costs rose 3.4%, which was above the rate of inflation in that time period. Overall, it's constructive on the labor market and doesn't suggest that inflation has been, lighting a new fuse despite rising labor costs.
To answer my own question, the markets above us morning shows Charlotte, Sacramento, Cleveland, Nashville, Kansas City, Indianapolis. All right, we're coming for you. For Debbie Monterrey and Megan Lynch, I'm Tom Ackerman, Total Information AM. We have traffic and weather next.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me. 314-441-4444. Why pay more than $2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very good friend John Moriarty from E3 Wealth. John and I go back years and years and years. John, it's great to have you back in the DGS fold. Tell everyone who's unfamiliar with E3 Wealth what you guys are all about.
Thanks, Dave. So happy to be back. E3, the 3 E stand for Educate, Empower, Enlighten. We founded the firm, and sometimes we refer to it as E3 Consultants Group, because we want to proactively challenge the status quo as to how Americans are educated about money and finance-related decisions. It's a lot. So really what we try to do for our clients is help them think differently about money. And recently we've been doing a ton of things with business owners because we see that as an area where we can provide tremendous growth for them, because we can help them build wealth through their business and also reduce their income tax liabilities. And when you can do that for a business owner, it makes a huge difference in their life.
It's kind of one-stop shopping for all finances, personal and business.
Absolutely. Yes, that's our focus. That's what we're attempting to do with our new book that's coming out called The Entrepreneur Playbook. We're going to be able to help a lot of people understand strategies, ideas on how to build their wealth and also protect it.
So John is a total pro, completely vouch for him as a person. Love this guy. No pressure, no hard sales. You want to learn more about your finances, personal and business, reach out to John at e3wealth.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 7:10 and time to check the roadways with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got some stop-and-go pockets now, Debbie, on southbound 61, south of Highway P, down through Wentzville Parkway. It's still slow down on the 64 most of the way to Lake St. Louis Boulevard, but after that, it doesn't look bad. A little slow at Clarkson, but really no big deal as of yet. But, of course, we're still building volume. Eastbound Highway 70, the right lanes east of Highway Z getting onto 64 a little bit heavy. Approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard to Bryan Road and right through T.R. Hughes again. A little slow stuff there. On the North 270 commute, you're basically just kind of bogged down north of 55 through Gravois and then north of 44 all the way up to 64. Northbound 55 drivers look good down south in the Festus area, but you have the usual slowdown. Bayless up across River de Pere. After that, it's not so bad. Still have the roadwork back up on westbound 64 for Illinois drivers from 50 through 159. It opens up just east of there. It's a little slow at the 70 split and a little slow across the Poplar. And again, they're working eastbound 5570 at Exchange. That roadwork will be out there for about another 24 hours, 23 hours, let's say. It's supposed to be wrapped up by 6 a.m. tomorrow, but that means it's going to be another tough afternoon commute with those 2 left lanes closed through that stretch. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Mostly sunny today, but cooler than yesterday, high 50.
We have a clear sky, 33 right now, downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:12. If a data center is approved in Troy, Illinois, it won't be on the preferred site of the developer. Troy officials say a 169-acre site on Formosa Road off the interstate is off the table, with Mayor David Nahn saying that is the face of Troy and they want something better for the community. The site is right off Troy's exit on I-5570, and Nahn says that land should have softer development.
Cloverleaf Infrastructure, based in Houston and Seattle, does not have an alternate site, and according to the Business Journal, has asked Troy officials to reconsider. City council members were apparently quite swayed at a meeting last week when the pastor of Bethel Baptist Church explained the proposed data center would surround his church on 3 sides. More coming up at 8:10.
Illinois lawmakers are considering implementing a statewide bag tax. We get more from Carolina Garibay.
Lawmakers have proposed legislation to impose a 10-cent fee on all carryout bags at retail establishments. The Carryout Bag Reduction Act aims to restrict the use of plastic bags over the next few years. The fee would start on January 1st of 2027 and increase to 15 cents in 2028, 20 cents in 2029, and 25 cents in 2030. Then it would increase by 5 cents each year if statewide bag use fails to drop by 90% compared to 2027 levels.
9 in 10 American Jews say they feel less safe because of anti-Semitic incidents.
The new report from the American Jewish Committee says major attacks on Jews in the United States over the past year, including a firebombing attack in Boulder, Colorado, and the murders of 2 Israeli embassy staffers in D.C., have increased fear.
They need to be aware all the time. That means they need to be nervous all the time about going about their daily lives.
AJC St. Louis director Nancy Lisker says more than half of American Jews surveyed say they've changed what they wear, what events they attend, and what they share online out of fear. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
An alternative to traditional bypass surgery is now being offered at Mercy St. Louis, as KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer reports. The new procedure is much less invasive.
It's called hybrid coronary revascularization, and it allows surgeons to completely revascularize a patient's blockages of the heart without opening their chest. Mercy cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Parth Patel.
And now the patient can go home in about 3 or 4 days without significant bed rest and be back to a normal living life, if you will, in about 2 weeks, completely, maybe not cured of their heart disease, but certainly significantly better and to the point where they don't have to worry about it.
In addition to the faster recovery, Dr. Patel says patients see a lower risk of complications and less pain. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Mercy St. Louis is the only hospital in Missouri to offer this new hybrid heart bypass alternative. Coming up in KMOX News at 7:22, St. Louis City SC goes gold with a new road uniform that pays tribute to a rock and roll Hall of Famer who went to high school in St. Louis at 7:15. Let's turn our attention to baseball.
Now, a St. Louis Cardinals spring training report. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And by Happy Roof. We always create happy endings on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
On the eve of pitchers and catchers reporting, the Cardinals add one pitcher while saying goodbye to another. The team announces the acquisition of George Soriano in a trade with the Washington Nationals. A member of the Marlins opening day roster each of the last 2 seasons, the Cardinals become his 4th organization since the end of last year, having been claimed off waivers by the Orioles, Braves, and Washington. Soriano is the cousin of 7-time All-Star Alfonso Soriano. He has big-time swing and miss stuff, but the right-hander has struggled to command his pitches and has pitched to a 5.95 ERA over his 3-year big league career. The club is hopeful they can harness his ability to get his extreme upside as a pitcher who misses bats. To get Soriano, the Cardinals trade away Andre Granillo, who was dominant at AAA last season. He pitched to a 1.29 ERA with 58 strikeouts in 42 innings. That swing and miss rate did not follow him to the big leagues, where he struck out less than 1 batter per inning with a 4.71 ERA in 14 major league appearances. He did collect his first major league win and save last year. Granillo and Soriano will not have to make travel arrangements, as both the Cardinals and Nationals train in the Palm Beach area, and the clubs see a lot of each other during Grapefruit League play. Soriano and the rest of the Cardinals pitchers and catchers officially report today. In Jupiter, Florida at Cardinals spring training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
To college basketball, and Brad Underwood, the head coach of Illinois, trying to explain a 92-90 overtime loss to Wisconsin. The Illini had a 12-point lead in the second half.
The Rapp was huge with his pick and pop threes. They do what they do. They're very similar to us. They make 16, we make 15 threes. And, we just, didn't make free throws down the stretch, and tough. So.
Wasn't the only upset in top 25 play. 5th-ranked Iowa State went on the road to TCU, and they lost as well. That final was 62-55. 11th-ranked North Carolina went to Miami. They lost wire to wire, and Coral Gables never had the lead. 75-66, the Tar Heels lose. SLU plays again on Friday. The 18th-ranked team in the country will be at Loyola. We'll have that game on KMOX. Missouri plays tonight. Unranked, they visit unranked Texas A&M. A&M's pretty good, though. 8 o'clock tip-off. We'll see if the Tigers can pull off another SEC win. This would be a big one on the road if they can get it. In baseball, you heard Matt Pauley talking there. Justin Verlander also has a deal. As the Cardinals made their trade yesterday, Verlander made his deal with the team that he started with. He is right back with the Detroit Tigers, a 1-year, $13 million deal. Boy, they are piling them up, aren't they? Framber Valdez, as well as Tarek Skubal getting his arbitration case going in his favor. Now they add Verlander. Tony Vitello, the St. Louis native, is the manager of the San Francisco Giants, and his first day of spring training was yesterday. We'll hear how that went for him. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
Winter is tough on homes. Ice and wind often lead hidden damage you can't see from the ground. Don't wait for the first spring showers to discover a leak. Get the Happy Roofers Spring Readiness Checkup today. We perform a thorough, risk-free inspection to ensure your roof is solid. With our Spring Smile Guarantee, you get guaranteed workmanship and total peace of mind. We always deliver happy endings. Visit thehappyroofer.com or call 314-665-3001.
How many of you think taxes will go up in the future? And if they do, who will get hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Thursday, February 19th or Tuesday, February 24th. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:20. Let's get an update on the roadways from Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, police are talking about an incident on northbound 270 between 55 and Tesson Ferry. Looks like it's at the end of the ramp from 55 onto northbound 270, a minor incident. So it looks like a crash that they're clear to the shoulder. So a little bit of a delay there, but it remains slow past that point, really in pockets through Gravois midway to 44, and then again north of 44. All the way up to Ladue. South 270 starting to see some slow traffic now. Olive down to Ladue. Eastbound 70 from Wentzville Parkway into 64 is heavy. There's slow traffic from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to TR Hughes. The Spencer Road overpass into about Cave Springs is a little busy as well. Southbound 61 still has slow traffic from just south of P onto 64, almost all the way up to 364 now. Chesterfield Parkway west to about Timberlake. Westbound 64 Hampton to Big Bend. That's at a slower pace. Northbound 55 backed up Bayless up to or Union Road overpass really to River to Pear, and westbound 64 from 50 through 159's bumper to bumper. Then it's just slow across the Poplar. Next update is 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg says we're going to have a sunny day today, a little cooler than yesterday, but it'll be nice, a high of 50 degrees. Tonight, mainly clear early, then increasing clouds late, low 33. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 54. Friday, sunshine and some clouds, and a high of 57 degrees. Looks nice out there. The sun's bouncing off one of the buildings to the west of us. It's 30 in Florissant, 30 in St. Peter's, 31 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:22, and St. Louis City SC unveils its 2026 road uniform with a nod to a late music legend with local roots.
There was a charge in the air. The moment right before lightning strikes. A girl walked these St. Louis halls. It wasn't long after that, her energy captivated the world. A voice, a vision, a voltage no one could contain. Whose sparks ignited those around her. the birth of a golden star, imprinted into the history of St. Louis, and now the fabric of our flag. Her spirit, a constant force of resilience, joy, and power. A force of nature that left a charge simmering under our feet. Ready to harness.
Our local MLS team holding a special event Tuesday night where the gold-colored jersey was unveiled. It also has Tina Turner's face on a patch and her signature on the back. Of course, you can catch all these City SC matches on our sister station, Y98.
$1 million. $1 million presented to Backstoppers from Guns N' Hoses yesterday. It's roughly a third of the organization's budget. Executive Director Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence O'Toole says Backstoppers is currently helping 103 families.
We try to pay off the mortgages. If there's a mortgage, and make the families debt-free.
Backstoppers helps families of first responders who have died or have had life-altering injuries.
Is there common ground to be found between North St. Louis and rural Missouri, Democrats and Republicans? Downtown Alderman Rasheen Aldridge thinks so, reflecting on his time in the state legislature. Aldridge says the struggle to find a grocery store or affordable health care is a universal Missouri issue, regardless of party lines.
When I was in Jeff City, I noticed talking to a lot of my Republican counterparts, those are the same issues that they also have in like rural Missouri, right? You know, their closest grocery store is a Walmart, which is like miles and miles away, right? They don't have the best health care. And they're also working livable wage jobs. So I think we got to figure out how to message those same issues that both parties care about in a bold, unique way.
Meanwhile, in Washington, that same need for a bold way forward is being forced by the numbers. St. Charles County's Kurt Barr notes the razor-thin Republican majority in the U.S. House, making it so that the White House has no choice but to work across the aisle.
Right now, I've heard that Trump has actually had to reach out to Democrats more. Because like if they lose 2 Republicans, then they don't have the votes to pass anything. So it looks like between now and the election, there's going to be a lot more bipartisanship going on in D.C. because there has to be.
Aldridge and Barr appeared together on The Dave Glover Show.
A data center is being proposed just west of the Armory site at the vacant Macy's Famous Bar warehouse. Alderman Thomas Oldenburg tells the Chris and Amy Show it sets us on the right path for economic development.
We're not growing as a city, so having a large-scale operator like this provides a steady supply of tax revenue to continue to provide services to the people and the residents of St. Louis.
We've been reporting that St. Louis City is working on a plan for future data centers, including zoning and application requirements, but this development would fall under the Midtown Redevelopment Authority and not the city, so the approval process is different.
Missouri is accusing Dollar General of deceptive and unfair pricing. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is taking the company to court.
Over 5,000 undercover buys at 179 stores. And what they found is on average, the customer is paying $7 more than they thought they would be charged based on the price on the shelves. And this hits, working class Missourians, particularly in rural areas.
Dollar General has more than 600 stores in Missouri, and in some communities, it is one of the only retail options.
It's 7:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The number one Genesis dealer in the state of Missouri. You know what that is. Genesis of St. Charles, your premier Genesis dealer. Don't wait. Now is the time to visit. Great weather this week. Let's go buy a car. They want your trade, and they are willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase. And just upfront pricing. Unlock the e-price today at genesisofstcharles.com. No games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing. And every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. 3 years of complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional costs. It's just so convenient, great service, and that's how it should be. Experience luxury service at their state-of-the-art facility, Genesis of St. Charles, 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70, genesisofstcharles.com.
I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler with the Audiology Center.
and I'm talking with my associate, Dr. Adam Voss. What happens to a person's brain when they ignore their hearing loss?
There is such a strong connection between the ear and the brain. Ignoring your hearing loss can cause the brain to become lazy and the speech areas in the brain to shrink. This is partially why you can hear the words, but you cannot understand them. If a hearing loss goes untreated for too long, it may cause an irreversible change in the brain. It is incredibly important to have your hearing screened at 60 or older, or sooner if you're noticing difficulty. And the sooner someone treats their hearing loss, the better and quicker their brain will adapt to hearing sound again. Studies show that those who get hearing aids, even with a mild hearing loss, are much more successful hearing aid users as compared to those that wait longer.
So call us today to get your comprehensive hearing evaluation with one of our doctors. 636-441-7470, or visit us online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
It is Zero Res's Month of Love sale. Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If the carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and say you want the Camo X special.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Spring training is here, and Cardinals baseball is heating up in Jupiter as young talent and big expectations take the field. The Gas House Gang is talking Cardinals all day long. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranchi, Bernie Nicholas. Smart takes, insightful analysis, real Redbird conversation, plus live reports from Camp Cardinals with Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne. If it matters to Cards fans, it's on the Gas House Gang. Weekdays at noon on KMOX.
It is now 7:30, and we have plenty of sunshine right now and a little bit of a breeze. It's 31 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, I got a better view of this crash now. I mentioned in the last report, Tom, northbound 270 just north of 55. It's at the end of the 55 ramp-on lane, so the 2 left lanes are open past the crash. Of course, it's jamming the ramp back, not quite to Mattis, but it's congested through there. Obviously, you stop and go. Once you get past that point, you're still slow. Gravois most of the way to 44, and then from 44 all the way up to Ladue is generally slow the whole way along the line. South 270, Olive down to Ladue is busy. Eastbound 70, Wentzville Parkway into 64. Lake St. Louis in through T.R. Hughes. It's a little slow around the Spencer Road overpass. Busy again, 94 to the Blanchette Bridge. Southbound 61, stop-and-go pockets the whole way down from Highway P onto 64, most of the way to 364. Boone's Crossing to almost Timberlake, and then east of Lindbergh is a couple of spots where it gets busy through the Interbelt. Of course, around McKnight, it's a little more solid. Westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley, pretty heavy most of the way through there. Eastbound 44 at Laclede Station's a little slow. Northbound 55, the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear jammed, and it's slow up to Holly Hills after that. And westbound 64, bumper to bumper, 50 through 159, slow Blaw to 70 and west of 3rd Street, then again slow across the Poplar. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, we're going to have another nice day. Not as warm as yesterday, though. In fact, much cooler. I think Joe said we hit 66 degrees officially yesterday. Today is going to be 50, but mostly sunny skies. 33 overnight, mostly cloudy. 54 tomorrow, 57 on Friday. Right now, it's 31.
It's 7:32. A purple alert system designed to find missing people with developmental disabilities could be in the works for Missouri. In addition to helping law enforcement find a missing person, it would provide high-functioning people with purple envelopes describing their disability in the event they're approached by law enforcement.
It kind of makes the arresting or stopping officer aware of their situation, basically.
The sponsor, Republican Senator Jamie Berger of Scott County, says he learned more about the issue at a recent meeting in Cape Girardeau.
We expected 10 or 12 people, and I think ended up being about 70 people that are very, very interested because they have family members that this would affect directly.
The Purple Alert bill has not yet been scheduled for a public hearing.
A Midwest tire distributor is shutting down after more than 90 years in business. All employees at Community Wholesale Tire in both Hazelwood locations will lose their jobs. Community Tire has 5 locations around St. Louis.
A 26-year-old man from DeSoto is facing 17 and a half years in federal prison for distributing child sexual abuse material. This is FBI Special Agent Chris Crocker.
Dylan James preyed on vulnerable children, using gifts to manipulate and sexually exploit them. That's a tactic all too common among predators. In these cases, there is no ambiguity. The children are the victims, and we will hold accountable those who are responsible.
James admitted to recording a sexual act with a 13-year-old girl along with sexually abusing 2 other teens. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department and St. Louis County Police investigated the case.
One of the most recognizable movie props ever is on display in Branson. It's the door from the movie Titanic. You know, that door that saves Rose's life when she floats on it at the end.
Oh, gotcha.
The 8-foot-tall balsa wood door.
There's a lot of debate about whether the door was big enough for Jack to get up on it too and save his life, and now you can see it for yourself. The Titanic Museum in Branson got the door in an auction.
Wasn't that your very first thought, the first time you ever saw Titanic? Why doesn't she pull Jack up onto the door? Why is he still in the water?
It was a great movie, but I had a lot of questions. The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:34, your Money Minute next.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
It is now 7:35. Let's get you caught up here on, well, in 5 minutes, it'll be traffic and weather. But right now, it is your money report. It's sponsored this hour by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Home shopping giant QVC is said to be speaking with its lenders about a possible bankruptcy filing. The parent company of channels QVC and HSN has been dealing with a decline in viewers and a heavy pile of debt. Sources tell us no final decision has been made about filing for Chapter 11. The company has been facing a slew of challenges, including a shrinking customer base and tariffs. No comments so far from QVC. Checking in on the markets, yesterday's report on retail sales for December was weaker than Wall Street expected. The S&P 500 fell 23 points. This morning's January jobs report will give investors a lot more context on the health of the economy. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg see only 65,000 jobs created for the month. Ahead of that report at 8:30 a.m. Washington time, stock futures are steady. And shares of Moderna falling in trading. Regulators are refusing to review its novel mRNA flu vaccine, dealing a blow to the company. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
In afternoon programming for American radio. The program is called At Your Service.
Among those voices, Mike Kelly.
Kaufman at the 11. Kaufman hurdles man at the 5, fighting for the end zone. Touchdown, Missouri!
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 369-369. AREA to 369-369. AREA to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Hopefully after 25 years together, you trust me that I only represent good companies. Universal Windows Direct is great. They have a great deal for the DJS audience. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. 0% interest for 36 months so you can spread out your payments, same as cash. Also, $500 off your home improvement project. 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Join us on February 15th at Powell Hall as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC brings us Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner, presented by Purina, with special guests Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes and Kennedy Holmes. Experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Listen for Matt's Reports Daily. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting and Happy Roof on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
In fact, we'll hear from Matt in 5 minutes on the new facility. He took a little tour around the campus down in Jupiter at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. They're still working on a few things there. We have a nice little radio room, though. Looks pretty good. Looking forward to getting down there. Roger Brand, you're in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No time, we still got our trouble in South County. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Got this crash at the end of the 55 ramp onto North 270. Those right lanes blocked. Only the 2 through lanes in North 270 are open past the scene, so it's jamming traffic back onto 255 through Lee May Ferry there as you come westbound, getting onto North 270. And once you get past that point, you're backed up at 44 to Marshall Road, and then it just remains busy all the way to Ladue. South 270, 364 down to Ladue is heavy. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, still a little busy around Wentzville Parkway. Lake St. Louis into T.R. Hughes, there are pockets, 94 to the Blanchette Bridge. And then again around Cypress, it gets a little slow. Southbound 61, slow at P, jammed about midway down through Wentzville Parkway to 64, and then it's slow from there to 364. East of Long Road, there's congestion all the way to about Timberlake. And then there are pockets from Lindbergh to 170, South 170, south of Page to about Delmar is busy. Then it actually opens up. Westbound 64, Hampton to Big Bend is slow. Northbound 55, like I said, the right lane's back up at Mattis. All lanes are slow at Rivas, jammed from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. It remains off the pace to Holly Hills. Westbound 64 from 50 through 159's bumper to bumper, and then Ball Avenue to the Poplar slow. Next update at 7:50 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
It's going on 7:42. Let's check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. And today's not going to be as warm as yesterday, but all things considered, it's going to be pretty nice.
Relative. Just remember where we were in mid to late January, where temperatures were in teens and 20s. We had single-digit lows. None of that's in the forecast going forward. In fact, we're going to stay on the high side of average for the foreseeable future. 50 today. That's down from yesterday's 66, but we'll do it with a fair amount of sunshine. Clouds increase later tonight. We'll slip close to freezing. A mostly cloudy day tomorrow, but it looks dry and relatively mild. The high 54. Back to some sunshine Friday with a high 57. We do have some rain in the picture for later Saturday and Saturday night. Saturday's high 51. It stays mostly cloudy Sunday. Temperatures in the 50s to near 60. I think it's warmer with a return to sunshine on Monday. Right now, 29 degrees at St. Peter's, 31 in Florissant. We've got some sunshine and 33 degrees downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 7:42. New developments in the search for Nancy Guthrie, mother of Savannah Guthrie, host of the Today Show. Officials released images on Tuesday of a masked person and apparently armed on Guthrie's doorstep the night she disappeared. Later, police detained a man named Carlos and searched his home. CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has more on the investigation and how the video was recovered.
Cybersecurity experts tell CBS News even without an active subscription, Nest cameras still record when they detect motion. That video gets stored virtually in a cloud. On Tuesday, Savannah Guthrie posted the new images on social media saying someone out there recognizes this person, adding, "Bring her home."
The pressure is on the Pima County Sheriff's Office, the FBI. They're looking for these next mistakes to happen, and they're going to be ready to capitalize on them when they do.
That is Jason Pack, a retired FBI special agent.
The FAA has closed the airspace around El Paso, Texas for 10 days, saying the temporary flight restrictions are for special security reasons. But the FAA is not clarifying what those reasons are and is now calling the airspace a national defense airspace. We get more from CBS transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
Pilots who do not follow this notice to airmen, this no-fly zone, that they may be intercepted, detained, and interviewed by law enforcement, warning that they could face civil penalties, have their licenses revoked, that they could be subject to criminal charges. And they add this ominous warning: the United States government may use deadly force against the airborne aircraft if it is determined that the aircraft possesses an imminent security threat.
U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt says if Democrats want to talk about immigration, he will do that all day.
I've put forth the Protect America Act that would end sanctuary cities, increase penalties for illegal entry and reentry, increase penalties for assaulting ICE officers, and getting rid of these NGOs that are fueling a lot of the violence that we see on the streets.
Schmidt says Republicans will not entertain what he calls the Democrats' ridiculous proposals to kneecap ICE agents and prevent deportations.
A Senate hearing turned into a cross-examination of the nation's largest telecom companies. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley focusing on why some compiled with secret DOJ subpoenas for congressional phone records while others did not. Or some complied, I should say.
Complied. Hawley, while grilling Verizon, specifically pointed to AT&T's general counsel, David McAtee, who successfully challenged the government's demands by raising the prospect of constitutional protections for lawmakers.
You turned over every piece of information from every senator sitting on this dais who got any illegal subpoena. You turned it over with no process at all. So let's skip that part. Just get to the part where you tell me why you didn't do anything that Mr. McAtee did.
Hawley argues if one company could find a legal reason to protect subscriber privacy, the others should have done the same. It's 7:45. Before we get to baseball, let's take a look at the Winter Olympics and what's happening there in Milan Cortina. Team USA added 5 more medals. Here's CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
It was American Maxim Naumov who was moved to tears, making his Olympic debut after losing his parents last year in the midair collision over Washington, D.C. As he took to the ice, a quote showed on the Jumbotron, "Mom and Dad, this is for you."
Norway leads the medal count with 12. The United States has 7. And the frustration continued for American skiing superstar Michaela Schifrin, although there are some new faces that have won on that U.S. ski team. Also, an Olympian opens up about a personal failing after a medal-winning performance. Here is CBS's Steve Kathan.
Sturla Holm Laegreid of Norway, after winning bronze in the men's biathlon, tearfully admitted to being unfaithful to his girlfriend. He called it the biggest mistake of his life. He says he revealed it publicly in a bid to win her back. Critics said it overshadowed a teammate's win in the event. Laegreid apologized for that and says he regrets speaking up. His girlfriend, who remains anonymous, expressed her pain and reluctance to forgive. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
To baseball, and Matt Pauley in Jupiter, Florida, taking a look at the Cardinals' new facility.
The Cardinals' renovated spring training facility is open for business. 2 new buildings were built during the offseason. A large performance center that will house all of the team's performance and medical functions, which is a long cry from tents being set up with training equipment under them. Another structure housing mini hitting tunnels has been built as well. Each hitting tunnel has all the technical and analytical tools that the club has invested in. The various pitching mounds across the complex also have all the new tech available as well. While today is the official pitchers and catchers report date, yesterday saw a lot of activity. A number of pitchers threw bullpens, including Jurangelo Senja, who did throw from both the right and left side. Fundamentals coordinator Jose Kendo was among the coaches getting work in with players, while other players who were arriving for the first time took their initial physicals. With pitchers and catchers officially reporting today, we'll get our first opportunity to speak with manager Oliver Marmol, and we'll also see the renovated clubhouse for the first time. In Jupiter at Cardinal Spring Training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
And Andre both out, obviously.
Do you need me to elaborate, or can you read a stat sheet and watch the film?
I'd like to hear your comment too.
It's like I said, we had guys playing out of position and doing things that we don't normally do. I thought
Brad Underwood trying to explain to reporters what happened last night. A 92-90 loss in overtime to Wisconsin. Illinois dealing with a couple of injuries in the backcourt, had to, as Brad Underwood said right there, move some players around, but they had a 12-point lead in the second half and lost it to the unranked Badgers. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
I got you something extra special for Valentine's Day.
Yeah?
How does a blow and go sound?
I like it.
Great. Air Comfort Service will be here on Monday.
Wait, what?
Our attic insulation is in bad shape. Air Comfort Service heating and cooling and insulation can top off our insulation with blow and go and make our home more energy efficient. We can save up to 30% on our energy bills.
I love it when you talk savings to me.
Schedule your blow and go attic installation from Air Comfort Service. Visit aircomfortservice.com/blow today.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:51, bright sunshine out there. We'll take a look at the forecast in just a moment. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they made progress with this crash, Debbie. North 270 just north of 55. It's over to the right-hand side, maybe partially blocking the right lane, but traffic's getting through easier now. It's still jammed, though, westbound 255 back just west of the Lindbergh exit, past that crash scene, and then North 270 still backed up north of 44 up to about Doherty Ferry and slow from there to Ladue. South 270, 364 down to Ladue. That's still pretty busy. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, almost David Hokeland to Wentzville Parkway, slow. There's slow traffic again, approaching Lake St. Louis to Bryan Road, sort of pockets to 79. East of Zembel to the Blanchette Bridge, and then 270 into the Rock Road after that. Eastbound 364, looks like we have a crash at Highway K. It's jammed at Bryan Road. Once you get around that, it's not so bad. Eastbound 64, coming off 61, Highway P down to Lake St. Louis Boulevard from Boone's Crossing to Timberlake from 270. Pockets through the Interbelt. The Interbelt has delays from Midland and stretches down to 64. Westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley's heavy. 44, Elmdale to Cleat Station, slow. 55, the right lane's approaching Butler Hill to 270, and all lanes north of Green Park up to River to Pear, and then it's slow to Virginia, slow again. 44 out onto westbound 70, westbound 64, 50 past 159's jammed, and then Ball Avenue to the Poplar slow. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg has some good news for us. It's going to be sunny again today, but it's going to be a little cooler, a high of 50. Tonight, mainly clear early, increasing clouds late, low 33. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and a high of 54. Friday, a little more sunshine with a high of 57. Currently, it's 31 in Florissant, 31 in St. Peters. It's sunny and 32 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:53. Moderna says the FDA refuses to consider its application for a new flu vaccine.
Moderna's clinical trial found its mRNA vaccine was more effective in adults over 50 than the standard flu shot. But in a rare move, the FDA refused to consider Moderna's application, saying the trial should have compared the vaccine to another brand of flu shot. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has long criticized mRNA vaccines.
mRNA technology poses more risks and benefits for these respiratory viruses.
Moderna has requested an urgent meeting with the FDA. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A group of Buddhist monks has finally reached Washington, D.C. after completing a 15-week trek from Texas that captivated the country. The monks say their aim is to promote mindfulness and inner peace.
Of course, it doesn't mention Aloka, the dog that has been with them this entire time, who everybody loves. Their simple message has resonated with people as a welcome respite from conflict and political division. Tuesday, nearly 3,500 people packed American University's Bender Arena for the monks' first public stop in the nation's capital.
In Illinois, daycare workers accused of giving toddlers laxatives so they'd get sick and have to go home. The 23-year-old told Chicago police she felt overwhelmed. A number of kids complained of persistent stomach issues before an investigation began. The woman is being charged with attempted aggravated battery and endangering the life or health of a child.
Thousands of oil and gas wells are scattered across fields in rural Illinois. A new report suggests state regulators don't have a good handle on how many are out there.
They may be plugged, they may not be plugged. So that's one of the findings of this report, was that the state really doesn't do a very effective job of collecting data on the wells and how much they're producing or whether or not they're producing.
Peter Hancock is State House reporter at Capitol News, Illinois. Researchers with Northwestern University and Client Earth USA say old wells could be causing environmental issues if they're not properly plugged or capped. They add it could be challenging to track down operators and owners and mount cleanup efforts.
The St. Louis Zoo is in the running for the best zoo in the country. The zoo was nominated for 3 of USA Today's 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards: Best Zoo, Best Membership, Best Exhibit. A panel of experts picked the nominees. A public vote will determine the winners. Voting ends March 9th.
Britney Spears is cashing in.
Multiple reports say Britney Spears has sold her music catalog to publisher Primary Wave. The deal is estimated to be in the $200 million range. No comment from Spears, but the sale is said to include her biggest hits, including songs from her 1999 debut album. One more time. 2 years ago, the pop star made a vow never to return to the music industry. Last month, she said she hoped to perform in the UK and Australia with her 19-year-old son, Jaden, who's launching his own music career. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Primary Wave also owns the music catalogs of Bob Marley, Stevie Nicks, Prince, and Whitney Houston.
Well, I hope Britney's getting the money and not her dad.
I wonder I wonder how much that catalog's worth. It's worth some big bucks.
Seems to be the thing to do, sell your catalog. Hey, it took 1 second for McDonald's to completely sell out of their free McCaviar kits. Then they started going on sale on eBay for between $20 and $1,200.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me?
I gotta have it. I'll pay anything.
All right. They were only giving away 750 of them, so they knew it would be crazy. And the website to sign up for the kit crashed almost immediately. Had McDonald's customers wondering if it was maintained by the same guys who fix all the McFlurry machines. That's funny.
I missed the whole fervor over the McCaviar kits.
I don't know.
I'll have to look that up.
All right. We'll be back.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
First, though, let's talk about Ted Drew's frozen custard. They always have that machine going. They do it by hand. They're in there working. You ever peek in while you order a Ted Drew's concrete? Just look and see everybody just getting after it, getting your order ready. How do they do it with the crowds that show up at Ted Drew's and those windows are open and you get your treat very quickly? Well, it's because they're the best at what they do. They have a love for St. Louis. It's a family-run business built on quality and service. 4th generation. Ted Drew's frozen custard is now open. It's a St. Louis tradition. Chippewa is the only location open right now. Since 1929, this is the 97th season of Ted Drew's. Concretes, malt shakes, sundaes, floats, ice cream, sodas. Quarts also available. Ted Drew's isn't just a custard stand. It is a tradition. Ted Drew's frozen custard. They're hiring too. TedDrews.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
I was ordering food for the office from the same few places for too long.
For workplaces suffering with office food fatigue, every day's a struggle.
Before starting Easy Cater, I assumed having no good vegan options for Carl in finance was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat OFF with a huge variety of favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and shine. Ask your app store about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Well, they're still working this crash on eastbound 364 at Highway K. The right lane's blocked. Traffic is a solid jam back to Bryan Road. That crash over to the right shoulder, north 270, just north of 55. 55 still backed up, headed that way. From the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Investigators are still looking for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie and the person who kidnapped her a week and a half ago after they detained a man named Carlos during a traffic stop south of Tucson last night.
I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
He was taken into custody hours after the FBI released images of a masked man, apparently with a gun, at Guthrie's door on the night she disappeared. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti from Tucson.
Cybersecurity experts tell CBS News even without an active subscription, Nest cameras still record when they detect motion. That video gets stored virtually in a cloud. On Tuesday, Savannah Guthrie posted the new images on social media saying someone out there recognizes this person, adding, "Bring her home."
The FAA says it shut down the airport in El Paso, Texas for 10 days for security reasons. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
The FAA is not clarifying what those reasons are and is now calling the airspace a national defense airspace, warning that pilots who do not follow this notice to airmen, this no-fly zone, that they may be intercepted, detained, and interviewed by law enforcement, warning that they could face civil penalties, have their licenses revoked.
A surprise in the Labor Department's just released jobs numbers. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The delayed January jobs report is out, and it was better than expected. 130,000 jobs were created during the month. The unemployment rate edged down just a bit to 4.3% from 4.4%.
We're hearing from terrified students at a high school in a remote community in the Canadian Rockies, where police say 8 people were killed, including the female shooter. CBS's MTS Tayab.
Around 175 students are enrolled at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, including 17-year-old Darian Quist.
I was in the mechanics classroom preparing to do some work on my car when the alarm went off that I've never heard before. And our principal goes throughout the halls and she's saying, people close your doors, lock down, stuff like that.
2 other victims were found at a house nearby. Dow futures up 238. We're not the only ones who get jealous. Scientists in Finland say monkeys do too. Here's CBS's Michael Wallace.
Their study published today in Proceedings of the Royal Society B says they observed jealous adolescent baboons often trying to steal their mother's attention while the mom was grooming a sibling. One young female lured her sister away from their mother with the promise of play, then took her spot in her mother's arms.
This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies, 32 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Wednesday, February 11th. I'm Megan Lynch.
Do not approach him. He is incredibly dangerous. He is armed, and you need to call 911 immediately.
That's what St. Louis City Police spokesman Mitch McCoy said Tuesday after releasing surveillance camera images of the suspect in a fatal drive-through shooting. It happened around 10 in the morning at the Starbucks on South Grand. Then overnight, police announced the arrest of a 58-year-old male suspect after a search warrant was served at his home. Officers also found evidence that may link the man to a pair of robbery cases. We're still awaiting the release of the name of the 28-year-old woman killed in Tuesday's shooting, as well as the suspect's name. The mayor and city council in Edwardsville issued a statement Tuesday saying they've not received a formal proposal from any company seeking to build a data center there. The statement says Edwardsville city staff did, however, receive an inquiry about the process it would require to locate a data center in their community. City leadership pledges full transparency and a thorough public vetting should a company submit a proposal. Missouri teachers may be barred from using students' preferred names and pronouns in their classrooms. Teachers who violate the parameters would be fired and their teaching credentials taken away under terms of a bill before the state Senate. But Ladue School District Board Chair Amy Hammerman says the bill would be another roadblock to a healthy educational environment.
Our teachers want to focus on our children learning. They don't want to focus on policing what the students are wearing and what their names are.
The bill's sponsor, Green Valley Republican Senator Joe Nicola, says the current system lets schools keep secrets from parents. The financial crisis gripping downtown St. Louis real estate claims another historic victim.
One Memorial Drive, also known as Gateway Tower, the brutal concrete building overlooking the Arch that served as the home base for KMOX for 4 decades until 2012, has entered receivership. It's now the 7th major downtown property to face foreclosure or seizure in just the past 9 months. The building's New York-based owners admitted in emails to lenders that the property is no longer bringing in enough cash to cover its bills. According to the Business Journal, the tower has struggled to retain tenants. Vacancy rates have surged to nearly 50% after the exit of major clients like KMOX, KMOV-TV, and software maker Shipworks. The Gateway Tower joins other distressed landmarks like the Railway Exchange and the AT&T Tower. There is progress elsewhere downtown, though. HOK has moved into the former Peabody Tower, and the Millennium Hotel demolition continues. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
While the headline retail number was flat in December, a closer look at the data reveals a sharp divide between different types of stores. While online outlets and home improvement centers saw growth, traditional brick and mortar categories like electronics and apparel struggled. Stiefel Director of Investments Eric Roberts highlights which sectors took the biggest hits.
Miscellaneous retailers and furniture stores saw some of the largest declines, down 0.9% in December, and clothing and accessory stores were off 0.7%. We also saw a drop with electronics and appliances, both down 0.4%. It wasn't all bad news, though. Online outlet sales rose 0.1%, and building materials and garden centers saw the strongest surge, up 1.2% in December.
Analysts now watching to see if the trend of selective spending continues as consumers navigate the first quarter of the new year. Missouri officials cracking down on retail shops that turn a blind eye to illegal gaming. The Attorney General's office is filing suit against 5 businesses in Dunklin County for offering unregulated cash games, including fishing tables and video lottery terminals. The state asking a judge to shut down the machines immediately. Bypass surgery without cracking open your chest. It's now possible. KMOX Health Editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Mercy St. Louis is now the only hospital in Missouri to offer this hybrid alternative to heart bypass. Mercy cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Parth Patel.
This procedure allows us to do the most important bypass, which is the artery from the front of the chest wall to the front of the heart, without ever having to break the sternum and open the chest up fully. We use 3 small incisions down the left side of the chest to harvest the internal mammary artery using the robot as an assistant. And then We make a small incision, 5-centimeter incision to the left of the breastbone without breaking ribs, without spreading ribs.
Dr. Patel says patients see a faster recovery, lower risk of complications, and less pain. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
From the KMOX Business Desk, a plan to demolish 6 St. Louis public schools, including one on the National Register of Historic Places, approved in advance last night by the school board. Now they can issue requests for proposal to knock down the schools, most of which have been vacant for decades. We'll get a check of traffic and weather in 2 minutes. It's now 8:08.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When it comes to lighting, Graybar goes beyond parts and products. We help contractors turn plans into smart designs, manage kitting and deliverables, and navigate local codes so you can stay on time and on budget. Smart, scalable, job site ready. That's not just lighting. That's like kicking your project into Graybar mode. Yep, Graybar does that.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:10, let's help you get where you're going this morning with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, I hope you're not running late if you're coming on 61 down through Lincoln County right now, north or southbound, actually, Megan, because we have a tanker truck on fire. It's hauling ethanol, and they said the rear of the tanker is on fire, so that's the part carrying the ethanol. They're shutting down Highway 61. The incident is southbound at Highway K, so they're diverting traffic off north of there, which will be up at Silex, I guess, and northbound is being shut down at Creech Lane, a little south of there, so you're not allowed through in either direction right now until they get this tanker fire under control. Just be advised of that. Eastbound Highway 70, still looking at heavy traffic from Bryan Road in through T.R. Hughes, east of 94, a couple of pockets into the Rock Road. 364, we've still got this crash in the right lane at Highway K. It's still jammed back pretty close to Bryan Road. Eastbound 64 Prospect, it opens up before you get to the boulevard. It's slow through Clarkson. It's slow again from Lindbergh through the Interbelt. The Interbelt's bogged down at Olive. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's heavy. North 270, a lot better, but it's still slow north of Gravois all the way to Ladue. 44, Big Bend into Elms, a little heavy. Northbound 55, the Union Road overpass up through Virginia's busy, and then westbound 44 through the bridges. Westbound 64, 50 through 159's a solid jam, and it's still slow from the 70 splits of the Poplar. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today will be cooler than yesterday despite a good deal of sunshine. The high not far from 50. Mainly clear this evening, but clouds will increase later tonight, though 33. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, high 54. Back to some sunshine Friday, high 57. There'll be some rain later Saturday and Saturday night. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We have sunny skies this morning, 32 degrees in Florissant. It's 29 in St. Peter's, 32 downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Residents in yet another community in our region fighting a proposal for a data center. Development firm Cloverleaf Infrastructure has proposed several new facilities in the Metro East, including one in Troy, Illinois. City officials held a public meeting last night at the local high school. It was standing room only, and joining me now is Derek Rammert, representing Troy Residents for Responsible Growth. Derek, thanks for joining me this morning on KMOX.
Thanks for having us.
So what are your core objections to the data center proposal for Troy?
You know, I think a lot of it comes down to a few different issues. One, you have that central issue, just that massive scale. You're talking about a 300-acre, 500-megawatt facility that's equivalent of powering 350,000 homes. That 300 acres, just to put it in perspective, that would be about 8% of Troy's land. Other issues that we have as we're learning about this is just the lack of transparency. As this project's gone along a few short weeks ago, maybe a month ago, most of us weren't even aware of this. And of course, you have the health, the environmental, the financial impacts. People are worried about the property values.
Now, Cloverleaf has said that it's not necessarily a large enough development proposal that, for example, they would have AI in that facility. Does that soften it any for you?
No, it's not about what goes in that facility. It is about a structure that big be in place where it is and what it can do to the community. We don't have industrialized areas. We're a small rural town. If this is as profitable as they want to make it sound, or they're making it sound, then put it in established industrialized areas.
Now, that is a heavy commercial area. There are truck stops and things of that in that nature. I've heard people say, well, it's going to change, the look of Troy as you drive down 55 and you see this facility. But there is already quite a bit of business there.
There is truck stops down that end of Troy, and those have been there for a long time. And look, we've those got approved in the 70s, and I wasn't around it in the 70s, but I think Troy in the 70s, we probably had the stigma of, when I say I wasn't around, I didn't live here, but Troy had the stigma of a truck stop town. And, not that that's good, bad, or indifferent, but Troy's done a lot better job in recent times of kind of shaking that label and being known as a bedroom community with a great school district. And now you're talking about placing a massive complex that anywhere you place it in Troy, it's going to be next to residents. It's going to be next to schools. It's going to be next to local businesses. It's going to have an impact.
And I guess in this case, the original proposal called for this to be located right next to a well-established church and the community park. Is that correct?
Yes, it would actually, the original proposal would have completely surrounded a church and school.
So I'm speaking with Derek Rammert, representing Troy Residents for Responsible Growth. I understand that the mayor reportedly has said that the site that everyone is looking at right now is actually off the table as far as he's concerned. Do you feel, though, that's enough assurance, especially with your comments about transparency in the process?
No, I think it took a lot of pushback to the city. Again, we didn't feel that this was being transparent at all. We had to start showing up at meetings and really paying attention to what was going on recently, just to figure out what was going on. And that amount of pushback, us packing the city hall, having to have it moved to the high school to accommodate everybody, that got the voice very loud of the opposition to this. And I think that at that point, they felt they had to take that location off. But even yesterday, they're citing 400 to 500 people in that room. Everybody in that room who got up and spoke was against data centers being placed here.
Cloverleaf officials have said that the center could create 200 new jobs and generate a lot of property tax revenue for the community. Wouldn't that in some respects be welcome for a small community like Troy to have that influx of money and jobs?
It's funny, they can't really answer the question on the amount of jobs that it would have. They throw out theoretical numbers. And there's a law, I think it's 2025, the Data Center Investment Act, that if you look at what investments employees must take, a data center must employ at least 20 people. So at least can be the bare minimum. And if it is really about jobs, then to use Cloverleaf's their CCO, one of the co-founders, Brian Janis's comments back in September 2024, he actually said, if I'm the governor of some state, I'm not going to turn away a factory that brings 1,500 jobs so I can plug them in a data center. So they know it doesn't bring long-term permanent jobs.
Is there anything that Cloverleaf could have said last night that would change your ideas or make this more appealing to residents of Troy?
I'm not sure there is. The way, again, until about just one short month ago, most people weren't aware of this happening. And when they found out, it was a little bit of sticker shock that we're talking about 300 acres in a small rural town. And again, it goes back to the small rural footprint. We're rural, we have farmland, we have a rural character. Anywhere you put it is going to just dramatically change that landscape. It's just something that doesn't fit here. Most people that get up and speak, by the way, they're not anti-data center, they're not against AI or any of that. It is about the location and the fit versus this town. Again, put it in pre-established, already existing industrialized areas, places that are already existing, and it's understood that that's where those type of businesses go.
It's very early in this process for Cloverleaf. What does your group and others, what are your intentions as far as communicating with your elected officials about how you want this handled?
We've been talking to elected officials, the aldermen. If you live in one of their wards, please talk to them. They've said they want to hear from their constituents, and they want their voices heard. So we want them to hear from us. We want them to vote the way that their constituents are saying. I know they're saying it's early in the process, but I'd argue that this is the only time that residents actually have leverage. Once this actually becomes a proposal, and it can become a proposal very quickly, that's no longer a concept. It's a project with expectations, contract, and pressure behind it. And if you wait until then, your backs are against the wall.
Derek, thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking time to come on with me this morning, and we'll follow up with you in the future.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is Derek Rammert with Troy Residents for Responsible Growth regarding that Cloverleaf data center proposal for Troy and some other Metro East communities. Now, KMOX News did reach out to the mayor's office and Cloverleaf Infrastructure for comment, but they have not yet responded. It's 8:20 coming up on Total Information AM. We're going to look at how Mizzou could change the name of Faurot Field. First, though, let's get a look at the roads with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Right now, Highway 61 is shut down right around Highway K, Megan, for a tanker truck fire. It sounds like they've got it under control, but it's still shut down for the next few minutes, I'm sure. So it won't be hopefully too much longer before they reopen there north of Troy, but it is still shut down both ways. Eastbound Highway 70 from Bryan Road into TR Hughes is slow, 94 to 5th Street, Earth City into the Rock Road. Those are just slow down. Still have this crash. Looks like it's mostly to the right shoulder now on 364 at K, but it's still bogged down at Bryan Road. Eastbound 64 Prospect to Lake St. Louis Boulevard's heavy. Chesterfield Parkway west to Clarkson. Lindbergh through the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Hampton to Big Bend. Slow. South 170 backs up at the Parkway. North 270 north of Gravois all the way to Ladue is slow. Northbound 55 Union Road overpass up to Holly Hills, and then 44 past the Poplar Mutual Veterans Bridges downtown. 64 westbound 50 to 159's jammed and still heavy from 3rd Street to the Poplar. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, it looks like it's going to be a little bit cooler, but sunny today, a high of 50, and then tonight clear with increasing clouds overnight, a low of 33. Right now, 32 degrees with sunny skies downtown at the Arch.
Discover Meadowview Memory Care in Arnold, a small, secure community on a beautiful campus. Enjoy peace of mind with all our inclusive rates and comfortable private suites. Schedule your tour today at rspseniorliving.com.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals
is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune in to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
When it's time to replace your appliances, Lowe's has you covered. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. And members get more like free delivery, haul away, basic installation and parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan where you spend $2,500 or more on select major appliances. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Welcome back to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. Mizzou fans might have to say goodbye to Faurot Field at Memorial Stadium. The university announces it's actively seeking a corporate partner to buy the naming rights to the 100-year-old home of Tiger football. If a deal is reached, officials say the word Memorial will be removed from the stadium's name entirely. KMOX's Michael Calhoun got the lay of the sponsorship landscape with Patrick Risch, director of the sports business program at WashU in St. Louis.
It's going to open up the floodgates. It's a real opportunity. Part of the reason why universities are doing this is because of the House settlement that now universities can allocate as much as $20.5 million to their student athletes. So they got to find a way to finance it.
You know, people are throwing out their dream scenarios, I guess, for what companies might be interested in this. But is it a different market for a college football stadium versus, you know, what we might think about with an arena or baseball or an NFL stadium naming rights?
Well, with stadium naming rights, again, what's going to be interesting is you have your typical partners. You have companies in the financial world, the insurance world. You have those are typically the main players. You may have healthcare companies, especially in college athletics, that want to influence a lot of the younger college kids, think about their brand. So that could be another piece of the equation. I think what's going to be interesting is, will the partner that Mizzou finds, are they going to be regional or are they going to be national? Or could it be a team, or could it be an organization that is based in Missouri but has national appeal? So Stiefel, for example, already has some partnerships with the Blues, of course. Could they also partner with Mizzou? That remains to be seen. But again, in a case like Mizzou, because a lot of these college athletic deals, I have a feeling they're going to be more regionally oriented. And I would say that the price point on a lot of these deals, you're probably looking at somewhere in the $5 to $10 million range for a school like Mizzou.
Yeah, some of the biggest rights deals out there: Casino del Sol Stadium, Arizona; Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium, at Kroger Field in Kentucky. Could this be a chance for the university to draw some closer ties to the largest market, St. Louis, given the large number of Fortune 1000 size companies here?
I think there's no doubt that they will tap into the St. Louis market and potentially the Kansas City market. St. Louis does have more larger Fortune 1000 companies than KC, so you would think that they would lean this direction. There's a lot of existing relationships we know between Columbia and the St. Louis business community, so I suspect that they will leverage that and those relationships as they find this deal.
Certainly, this is speculation, but just to help people kind of get their minds into what kinds of companies might be interested, are there any maybe examples of who Mizzou should be looking at?
Well, again, it could be very interesting if we stick with the financial and insurance theme. You've got places such as Stiefel, you have places such as Edward Jones, you have those kinds of players here in the St. Louis marketplace. I don't know if, something you certainly wouldn't expect to see something like enterprise. You wouldn't expect to see Panera or Energizer. I don't think that they would go in that direction. So my guess would be, it would be in either the financial insurance sector, or if they were to go the healthcare route, is there a healthcare company? Would Barnes Jewish? Could that be a possibility? I don't think so because of their connection with WashU. But is there another healthcare provider here in St. Louis, like Mercy, or in the Columbia area, that would be a potential partner? That remains to be seen. But it is a common product category for universities to work with healthcare.
I feel like more people call it Faurot Field than Memorial Stadium these days anyway. Could we see Faurot Field remain a part of this somehow?
I think that that's a possibility. We see that all the time where you have some tie to a figure from the university. You don't want to lose it completely. So having the stadium have a corporate name but have the field remain Faurot Field, I think that's absolutely on the table.
That is WashU's Patrick Risch with KMOX's Michael Calhoun. It's now 8:28. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Obviously, when you choose someone to sell your home, you're looking for a home sale that is quick and for the most money you can get, right? Obviously. But sometimes people do have seller's remorse. Usually when they find out that other homes went for a lot more, that they could have maybe gotten more for their home, you need to call Gloria Liu. Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She not only guarantees that she'll sell your home, but Gloria Liu will sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. So your home is sold and you're going to get the most money for your home. Those are really important points. And she takes all the stress out of it because Gloria and her team sell hundreds of homes a year, not just a few or a dozen. No, they know what they're doing at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Give her a call and ask all the questions you may have, and she will give you a great answer. 314-325-6888, or you can find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
At Target, we're unlocking all the feels this Valentine's Day. It's the perfect time to spread extra love and spoil everyone on your list with unforgettable gifts. First, give a cuddle-worthy surprise with the cutest plush toys, or get party ready and treat yourself to stylish women's dresses you'll heart. Both 20% off. Then dive into the ultimate cozy celebration with your faves with 30% off select women's pajamas. There's something sweet for all your special someones. Even you. Find Valentine's Day gifts for everyone at Target.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Time to check the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're still busy out there making this traffic reports a service of financial and tax strategy. Still seeing the delays on 61, at least the southbound side is backed up coming down to Highway K north of Troy for a good mile or two. Northbound looks like they may have reopened it. That was due to an earlier tanker fire that they got under control. Eastbound 70 still a little slow around TR Hughes, Earth City into the Rock Road. Eastbound 64, brief slowdown at Clarkson, east of Lindbergh through to about Big Bend, still heavy. Westbound 64, the Science Center out to Hanley, still heavy. North 270 north of Gravois all the way up to Ladue. That's still slow. Northbound 55, Bayless up through Holly Hills is busy. 44 past the bridges downtown is off the pace. Eastbound 44 starting to see a little roadwork delay. East of Vandervetter coming through Grand. Westbound 64, that's jammed west of 50 through 159 due to roadwork. And 64 from the 70 split to the Poplar, still a couple of slow spots. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing a checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, sunny and cooler today, a high of 50. Clear early tonight, then increasing clouds late, a low of 33, and mostly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 54. We have sunny skies, 32 degrees downtown at the Arch. Mercy St. Louis has just become the only hospital in Missouri to offer a new hybrid alternative to heart bypass surgery. KMOX Health editor Fred Bottomer found out more about it when he spoke with Mercy cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Parth Patel.
It's somewhat new to the region for sure, but basically it allows us to completely revascularize a patient's bypass or blockages of the heart without opening their chest. And so the first step typically is we use robotic assistance to harvest the left internal mammary artery and then sew it to the left anterior descending coronary artery. Now that's the most important bypass, whether it's open bypass surgery or robotic bypass surgery. That's the best anastomosis. That's the best vessel. Once that's done, the cardiologist can go in and stent the other lesions. And now the patient can go home in about 3 or 4 days without significant bed rest and be back to normal living life, if you will, in about 2 weeks, completely, maybe not cured of their heart disease, but certainly significantly better and to the point where they don't have to worry about it.
And how rare is this?
Well, we just started doing it here at Mercy St. Louis, and they've done it a handful of times across the state, but no active other programs remain in the state as far as I know. And so it's done pretty frequently at other places, more high volume places, but it's something that I'm hoping to gear up and do more and more here. But heart disease is the most common cause of death in the American population, and this is a way to treat it.
Who is eligible to get this procedure?
That's a good question. First and foremost, you need to talk to your cardiologist. They're going to be the ones that kind of make that determination. However, it's patients that have coronary artery disease and specifically a blockage in the left anterior descending coronary artery. Any patient that has that can at least potentially be eligible. Now, there's more minutia and more details that we need to look at. We need to look at the imaging and the workup and so on. But at the beginning, that's the all-encompassing population from which we can kind of figure out who will really be a candidate and who will not.
What's been the reaction from patients that you've performed this surgery on?
Most of them, because we've been pretty selective with it, have felt instantaneously better. The first patient could tell that his shortness of breath went away immediately. He went home without any sort of narcotic pain medication, was back to living his normal life after about 5 days stay in the hospital. And the second patient needed a true hybrid revascularization, which is to say he got my surgical part and then stents the following day. He went home after about 5 days and again was back to normal activity, normal working in about 2 weeks. And he feels a million times better. I just followed up with him.
Dr. Patel, go over again the benefits of this procedure for patients.
Yeah, absolutely. So this procedure allows us to do the most important bypass, which is the artery from the front of the chest wall to the front of the heart, without ever having to break the sternum and open the chest up fully. We use 3 small incisions down the left side of the chest to harvest the internal mammary artery using the robot as an assistant. And then we make a small incision, 5-centimeter incision to the left of the breastbone without breaking ribs, without spreading ribs, to perform the anastomosis. Patients can go home in about 3 or 4 days. It has a decreased transfusion risk, a decreased stroke risk, and of course, much less pain. And then, like I said, patients can go home in about 3 or 4 days and then be back to normal activities in about 2 weeks.
How exciting is this for you, a cardiothoracic surgeon?
I think this is something that I trained in, and I thank all my mentors for teaching me how to do this and giving me the support and guidance. And it's something I'm just excited to offer the community here.
That's Dr. Parth Patel, cardiothoracic surgeon at Mercy St. Louis.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your Money Report now, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Kraft Heinz is pausing a beat on its planned split. Last year, the food giant said it planned to break into two companies to separate its fastest growing brands, including condiments such as Heinz ketchup, from its slower growing grocery staples like Oscar Mayer deli meats. Now, Kraft Heinz wants to improve its finances first. It says returning the business to profitable growth requires all of its resources fully focused on its operations. Shares are falling in early trading on the news. Wall Street is counting down to the event of the week, the January jobs report. According to a Bloomberg survey of economists, payrolls probably rose by 65,000. Stock futures are looking at slight gains ahead of that data. And construction products distributor QXO agreed to buy rival Kodiak Building Partners for about $2.25 billion. About 40% of Kodiak's revenue comes from Florida and Texas, where building growth has outperformed the national market. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Join us on February 15th at Powell Hall as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC brings us Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner, presented by Purina, with special guests Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes and Kennedy Holmes. Experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
8:40, a lot of delays out there this morning. Let's get the latest on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got a jam in Lincoln County, Megan, from about midway down from Highway B, that is, in Auburn there, down to Highway K and B because of an earlier tanker fire. I can't tell if the southbound side is still closed or not, but there is still a jam there. The northbound side, they reopened because they got the tanker fire under control. North 270, 44 up to Ladue, still busy. Eastbound 64, Lindbergh into Big Bend, still slow. Westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley, heavy. South 170, a little heavy at the Parkway. And eastbound 44, I mentioned roadwork delays. Well, now we have a crash in the left center lane at Grand. So it's a solid jam at Vandervanter, but then still slow to Jefferson. Westbound 64 still have a roadwork back up west of 50 through 159. And then westbound 64 slow west of 3rd Street to the Poplar. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broke and it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8. JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. Jerry Kelly.
It is going to be a little cooler today. We're expecting a high of 50, but mostly sunny skies. Clear tonight early, and then more clouds as we get late in the evening, an overnight low of 33. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies with a high of 54. We have sunny skies, 32 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's Debbie Monterrey.
Childcare is a huge issue for working parents today, and especially in the state of Missouri. Robin Phillips is the CEO of Childcare Aware of Missouri, and she's actually going to be presenting at the Missouri Economic Development Council in Jefferson City. Robin, thanks so much for joining us, and I'm looking forward to asking you a lot of questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Debbie. Appreciate you having me.
I've often been curious. I know that there are some companies that offer childcare. If the company's large enough, they might have a childcare center. And I thought, wouldn't it be more economical or easier for a lot of these companies if that were a benefit that they could offer their employees?
Absolutely. And that's the kinds of conversations we've been having for the last several years in helping employers understand that the common default is, we must provide on-site childcare, and it's great when that can happen, but that's not feasible for everyone. And it does create some pros and cons around liability, but bottom line is that some type of childcare benefit does directly equate to workforce recruitment and retention and workplace satisfaction. So what we are doing is helping employers think differently about how to design childcare benefits, that it doesn't necessarily just need to be on-site childcare at their place of employment.
What is Missouri Childcare Works?
Missouri Childcare Works is a brand new cost share, tri-share model that has been funded by the state budget and Governor Kehoe, allocating $2.5 million in the state budget to pilot this project. The concept has been being built over the last couple of years. It is designed to support families who make too much money for state child care subsidy, so that families that can take a promotion or take another $1 an hour raise don't lose their subsidy, that there's a safety net or bridge, if you will, to support them. And it is designed to engage employers, the employee, and in this particular case, state funding to split the cost of childcare 3 ways. That is one model of Childcare Works, and that one is currently being funded by the state of Missouri. We administer the project through technology and interactions with employers.
What are you hearing from employers? Because I always wonder why childcare isn't talked about more, because so many parents are having trouble finding it or even affording it.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that's what Missouri Childcare Works is also designed to do, is to address that affordability. It doesn't magically create slots, but what it is doing is driving a lot of local conversations with economic developers, with workforce development, with chambers, with other small businesses to say, hey, here's some other opportunities where we could create some capacity, or a child care center has some support to expand capacity. There's a grant out there right now from Office of Child Care that is called Innovation Grants, and it's where a business and a child care program can partner together to provide some capacity. But you're right. I mean, I've been in this field for 25 years, and we have directly served families looking for childcare for 25 years through a different contract. And it's just post-COVID, that just kind of exasperated everything, and the wait lists are incredibly long. We have the majority of our counties in Missouri are considered childcare deserts. And then when you drill down to childcare needed for infants and toddlers, because public pre-K doesn't serve that age group, we're talking about standalone childcare businesses that serve 0 to 5. Their wait lists are long. The costs are high to provide high quality care. And so it's become a barrier for many parents getting back in the workforce. And that's what I've been hearing from employers around the state. I recently graduated from Missouri Chamber's leadership program and toured a lot of manufacturing and met with a lot of HR folks at those companies. And that's the number one barrier that keeps coming up, along with housing and transportation. But childcare was always the top barrier.
There was some talk because of, as you mentioned, childcare deserts and the lack of people going into that field, that one way of providing more childcare might be to take away some of the requirements for childcare providers. I don't know if that ever went anywhere in the state legislature, but what do you think about that idea?
Well, it was a governor's executive order last state of the state for the licensing to review the regulations to simplify them and perhaps remove some duplication or things that didn't make sense anymore. I am always going to be an advocate of high quality and safety. That's what our organization stands for. So I am not about increasing ratios. I am not about reducing regulations and oversight, especially when a number of these steward federal money as well through state subsidy. However, I am a proponent of trying to make the process simpler for providers so they feel supported, so they feel successful. Their margins for running a business are incredibly thin. So they're doing the best that they possibly can. And it's hard for them to raise prices because then that is an offset to families, but that's the only way they can pay their staff a livable wage. So it's kind of a catch-22. So trying to find other options where there's a public-private blend that is the common denominator across this country that's making childcare be less of a crisis, if you will, is there's more people with skin in the game and helping employers understand that we can't think like it's 1980 or 1990s anymore. Like childcare is not a family's problem. It's a life. And from an economic standpoint, if we want people to live in our communities, move to our communities, draw employers to our communities, we need to have quality of life features for people to stay there and raise their children. Access to high quality early childhood is one of those features.
Robin Phillips is the CEO of Child Care Aware Missouri, and she's a featured speaker at the 2026 Economic Issues Summit presented by the Missouri Economic Development Council. Thanks so much for the time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coming up on Total Information AM, it is 211 Day. We'll tell you what that means for people who need help and the agencies that are there to help them.
I'm Sean Malone. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Tom Ackerman, I have something for you. Genesis of St. Charles, the general manager there, Shay, I'd like you to walk in there and tell him that I sent you in and just see what happens. They're going to set you up with someone to show you their vehicles. They may offer you a very nice cup of coffee, and they have a great coffee machine there at Genesis of St. Charles. They are number one, and they're also the number one Genesis dealer in the state of Missouri. They're the first and only standalone Genesis dealership in the state of Missouri. They're at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway, right off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. You're going to love Genesis of St. Charles. Genesis vehicles are very nice. They're luxurious, and that comes with a luxurious experience. Every purchase of a Genesis from Genesis of St. Charles comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. GenesisofStCharles.com.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and mention the KMOX special.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there will be plenty of surprises. Matt Pauley is in Jupiter with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
You're back with Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Ever wonder where to go for help? Today is National 211 Day, a day to raise awareness of the community hotlines that can connect people in need with agencies that are there to assist them. Kathy Vaseville is Community Partnership Director with United Way of Greater St. Louis. She joins us this morning. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
For our listeners, what's the 211 helpline?
Sure. So the 211 helpline is a free confidential line that you can call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and you can receive information about resources in the community. So over the last year, we've had over 254,000 contacts across Missouri and Southwest Illinois reach out to us for needs related such housing, shelter, utilities, food insecurity, and transportation. And we have over 28,000 programs and services in our database to help people who need it find the assistance in their area.
Talk about the people who take those calls. How are they trained?
Sure. So our navigation center goes through an intensive training. We are accredited through an agency called Inform USA, and they go through at least a week training, intensive book and shadowing, and then they go through over a month of training where they are either listening into calls or our supervisors are, listening into their calls. And so the navigators are very passionate about what they do. We have a long-term group that have been here with us for quite some time. And, they just are very passionate about assisting the people that call 211, finding the needs that they have.
How has the 211 helpline assisted in times of crisis? I'm thinking of the tornado that came through.
Sure, yeah. So within an hour of the tornado coming through, 211 was receiving phone calls. We were taking disaster intakes. We then, within 24 hours, we were, coordinating with the city and coordinating with other, resources and disasters. And we just continue to this day to be a resource for those survivors, whether it's, continuing to have resources in our database to refer to, or also supporting the local long-term recovery of, the survivors that will go on for probably years.
What do we know when we get someone connected with services? What impact does it have on their lives?
So the impact is, great. Basically, when someone calls us, they are usually in some sort of crisis. They need something. Usually it's electric or rent. It's a basic need. They need to survive. And, when they reach out to us, they have a live person on the phone that is there to answer their questions, to provide support, and, to give them some hope and provide referrals to start them on their journey back to, security and, just calm safety.
So, Kathy, how can people reach out to 211? Because it's not just dialing 211, is it? There's other ways?
Oh, yeah. So 211 initially was phone line based only, but now you can call 211 from any land-based phone line. You can call on a cell phone. You can also text. You can chat. You can call. You can email. You can go to our website, 211helps.org, if people wanted to look up resources for themselves. There's just a variety of ways people can reach out.
Kathy, thanks for raising awareness.
Thank you for having me.
That is Kathy Vaseville. She is Community Partnership Director with United Way of Greater St. Louis. Again, that's the 211 helpline.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
Coffee drinkers can enjoy some perks. Research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health finds moderate